Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine a time before cities, before people, before even a single human voice had touched the air. The world is vast and still. The night sky stretches endlessly, a sea of stars shimmering above quiet forests. The earth breathes slowly, peacefully, as if asleep beneath its blanket of darkness. You are standing in an ancient silence, surrounded by air that feels warm and alive. Every sound is soft and distant, the slow rhythm of waves against an unseen shore, the gentle hum of wind moving through giant ferns, the heartbeat of a living planet that has only just begun to dream. The air smells clean, full of mist and soil and life. The moon hangs low, silver and round, resting above a horizon untouched by light. Beneath it, tall trees sway, their shadows long and soft. Leaves the size of your arms whisper together, moving like hands brushing silk. The stars above seem closer here, and for a moment you can almost hear them, a quiet shimmer, a pulse that hums through the sky like a lullaby from the universe itself. Far away, on the edge of the forest, the ground moves, slow and heavy. The sound is deep, like distant thunder. Something enormous walks beneath the trees. You do not feel fear, only wonder. The creature moves with calm grace, each step soft, steady, almost careful not to disturb the peace around it. Its skin glows faintly in the moonlight, textured like ancient stone. Its breath rises in clouds, mixing with the night air, warm and gentle. The world feels alive in a way it no longer does. Rivers flow like veins of light through the dark landscape. Mist curls over still water, glowing faintly beneath the moon. The wind moves in long sighs, carrying the scent of rain and earth. Everything is slower here. The trees grow slowly. The stars drift slowly. Even time itself seems to move like a tide, smooth, patient, never hurried. The creatures of this world are at peace. In the forest's heart, a family of giants sleeps close together, their bodies curved like hills, their breaths deep and soft. Tiny lights flicker in the air around them, glowing insects drifting lazily through the mist. The ground hums faintly beneath them, alive with quiet energy. Above, the stars shift and the sky ripples like silk. You can almost feel the earth's heartbeat under your feet. It is old, steady, and comforting. It tells you that everything, every creature, every stone, every whisper of air belongs to this great stillness. There is no rush, no noise, no thought, only calm. The night continues in soft motion. Clouds drift across the moon. Somewhere in the distance, water falls from a high cliff, breaking the silence with a sound that feels like music. The forest listens. The giants breathe. The stars glow brighter. You take a slow breath, filling your chest with that same ancient air. It feels heavy and warm, carrying the weight of a million forgotten years. You exhale, and the mist rises gently, joining the fog that hangs over the sleeping world. In this place, time does not pass. There is no beginning and no end, only the rhythm of breath, the quiet pulse of life, the calm dream of the earth. The night of the lost giants is not gone. It still lives in the soil, in the stones, in the air we breathe. Somewhere deep beneath us, the earth remembers. And as you drift deeper into this memory, your own breath slows to match its timeless rhythm. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine a world that existed long before anyone could name it. There were no clocks, no cities, no words, only the slow rhythm of a planet finding its breath. The air was warm and heavy with mist. The land shimmered beneath a pale, endless sky. This was Earth when time was still a whisper, soft, quiet, and half asleep. Picture the ground beneath you, a wide green sea of ferns and moss stretching as far as the eye could see. Each leaf glows faintly in the gentle light of dawn. The air moves slowly, wrapping around the plants like silk. There are no birds to break the silence, only the wind, carrying the smell of rain and wet stone. It is a peaceful world, untouched by sound, untouched by worry. Every moment drifts into the next, without hurry, without end. Mist rolls gently across the valleys, wrapping the earth in a soft gray blanket. You can almost feel it touch your skin, cool, damp, and soothing. Far away, mountains rise from the fog like sleeping giants. Rivers slide quietly through the forest, their surfaces smooth and calm, reflecting the shapes of giant trees in distant light. The world moves, but very slowly, like it is dreaming of what it will one day become. The oceans glow under the moon, silver and still. Their waves do not crash or roar. They hum softly, like a low breath. Beneath the surface, light flickers gently between drifting shapes. Strange creatures move with unhurried grace, their fins trailing ribbons of silver in the dark water. The sea feels alive but calm, like a sleeping heart beating deep below. In this ancient stillness, even the smallest moments feel eternal. A drop of water falls from a fern leaf. It lands on the ground with a sound so small, it feels like time itself pauses to listen. The sunlight passes slowly through the mist, painting soft golden lines across the earth. The shadows stretch and shift, but never rush. Every detail, every shimmer, every ripple, happens in its own quiet rhythm. You walk through this forgotten world in your mind. Each step is light. The earth is soft beneath your feet, covered in moss that glows faintly green. The air feels thick, full of life unseen. Somewhere in the distance, a slow rumble. Not thunder, but the earth turning in its sleep. You breathe in deeply. The scent of ferns, salt, and stone fills your lungs. It feels peaceful. It feels endless. Time does not pass here. There are no days or years, only the rise and fall of light. The sun drifts through the sky like a dream, and when it sets, the moon takes its place without sound. Stars hang low, their reflections shimmering on the water. Sometimes, when the wind moves, the surface of the ocean glows, tiny sparks of life lighting up for a moment, like thoughts flickering through a sleeping mind. This world feels kind, gentle. Every leaf, every cloud, every breath of air seems to move with purpose, but without haste. The land and the sea share the same slow heartbeat. Even the fog seems alive, curling, stretching, wrapping around trees like a lover's embrace. Imagine standing at the edge of this vast ocean. The sand beneath your feet is warm and fine, untouched by footprints. The waves reach you softly, kissing your ankles, then fading back into the sea. The moonlight touches the water, and the world turns silver. Somewhere far away, a volcano glows faintly, its fire hidden behind clouds. Even that, the power beneath the surface, feels calm, not violent, but patient. The earth has no voice, yet it speaks in quiet ways. Through the whisper of wind across ferns, through the hush of water sliding over stone, through the gentle pulse beneath your feet that tells you this planet is alive, dreaming in silence. You can feel yourself slow down with it, your heartbeat, your breath, your thoughts. Everything begins to move at the same gentle pace. The world feels heavy, but not with burden. Heavy like a blanket, soft and warm, wrapping around you. This is a world before time had a name, a place of stillness, light, and soft creation. Nothing hurries. Nothing ends. Everything simply is. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine the earth when it was still young and quiet, a gentle blue world wrapped in mist. There were no footsteps on the ground, no voices in the air, only still water, endless sky, and the soft hum of beginnings. The oceans were calm and wide, their surfaces shining like glass beneath the soft light of a newborn sun. Waves rolled slowly across the sand, smooth and warm, leaving behind tiny bubbles that shimmered like pearls. Beneath that surface, in the shallow waters where light could still touch the sand, something small began to move. It was almost invisible, smaller than a grain of dust, lighter than a breath. A single spark of life, drifting in the water like dust in sunlight. It did not know what it was or what it would become. It simply floated, carried by the gentle current, surrounded by tiny specks of light and air. The sea was quiet, but within that silence, the first heartbeat of life had begun. The ocean floor was covered in soft mud and smooth stones, glowing faintly under the sun's filtered light. Warmth spread through the water, mixing with mineral from deep within the earth. That warmth became comfort, and comfort became life. Small shapes began to form, tiny threads, soft bubbles, little clusters of movement. They drifted together, separated, and came together again in a rhythm that felt like breathing. You can imagine them now, the first living things, floating side by side in the quiet sea, unaware of time, unaware of distance. They did not rush or fight. They only existed, swaying gently with the current, glowing faintly as light passed through them. Every moment was slow and peaceful. Every ripple of water carried them to new places, spreading life across the ocean like dust carried by wind. Above, the sun moved across a pale sky, sending soft golden rays through the waves. The light danced over the water, bending and breaking into gentle lines that sparkled around the tiny creatures. They drifted near the surface, where warmth and light kissed the sea. And though they had no eyes, no words, no thought, they reached toward that light, drawn by something ancient and kind. Sometimes the water would still completely, and everything would fall silent. In that silence, life seemed to glow brighter, suspended in perfect peace. The ocean breathed, the earth dreamed, and the first creatures floated within that dream, like small thoughts forming in the mind of the planet. Over time, though time had no meaning yet, more forms began to appear. Some moved like threads of silk, some rolled slowly along the sand, and others reached out with soft arms, feeling the world around them. They did not compete. They shared the water, the light, the quiet. The sea became a cradle, rocking them gently, keeping them safe in its calm rhythm. If you listen closely, you can almost hear it, the faint hum of life beginning, the whisper of water touching sand, the heartbeat of the planet deep below. Everything was still and patient. There was no rush to grow, no need to change. Life was simple, quiet, and full of peace. The ocean kept them, nurtured them, loved them in its own silent way. And as the waves moved, they carried those tiny living specks across the world, spreading light, movement, and warmth wherever they went. This was a beginning, not loud, not bright, but soft and gentle, like a sigh in the dark. The first life that crawled did not conquer the earth. It drifted upon it, wrapped in silence and wonder. And in that stillness, everything began. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine a world wrapped in mist, a world where the land was warm and green, where the air smelled of rain and smoke, and where rivers whispered across soft valleys. The earth was older now, its surface breathing gently beneath clouds that moved like drifting dreams. The oceans had grown deep, the forests thick and alive. And in this quiet, ancient world, something new began to walk. It started slowly, quietly, as all great things do. The rain fell warm and steady, covering the ground in silver ripples. Volcanoes slept in the distance, their tops glowing softly with quiet fire. Smoke rose like thin threads into the gray sky, blending with low clouds that stretched for miles. The air shimmered with heat, and the earth seemed to hum with quiet energy. Out of that warmth and silence came the first shapes, long shadows moving through the ferns. They were unlike anything before. Their bodies were strong but graceful, their steps slow and deliberate, as if the world had taught them patience. The first dinosaurs did not roar or charge. They walked softly through the green, curious, peaceful, feeling the ground beneath their feet. Their eyes were wide, filled with reflection and light. When they breathed, the mist moved with them, as though the air itself welcomed their arrival. The forests around them were vast, endless stretches of moss, ferns, and giant trees that reached up to touch the sky. Dew clung to every leaf. The ground was soft and rich, covered in the scent of life. Each step left a print that filled slowly with rainwater, forming tiny pools that reflected the gray clouds above. The earth felt alive, not wild, not loud, but calm, steady, nurturing. Rivers flowed through the land like silver veins, winding gently around the roots of ancient trees. The water moved slowly, carrying leaves, ash, and light. Along the riverbanks, mist rose with the warmth of the earth, wrapping the new creatures in a soft embrace. Sometimes the rain would fall harder, tapping gently on their backs, washing their scales clean. Then the sky would clear, and a quiet golden light would spread across the land, turning everything to liquid gold. You can almost feel the warmth of that light on your skin. You can hear the soft hiss of steam rising from wet stone, the hum of insects hidden beneath leaves, the low breath of wind moving through the trees. The world was still young, but it felt timeless. Each day stretched long and slow, like the calm exhale of the planet itself. The first dinosaurs did not live in fear. They moved with the rhythm of the earth. They drank from the rivers, rested beneath the trees, and lifted their heads to watch the smoke from distant volcanoes drift into the sky. Even the fire of the earth was gentle then, glowing softly at night, painting the horizon with deep orange light. The rain cooled the ash, turning it into fertile soil. From that soil grew more forests, more ferns, more life. Somewhere in the distance, a small herd moved together, parents and young, side by side. Their skin shone faintly under the fading sun. They spoke in low, tender sound that echoed softly through the valley. The air was heavy with warmth and comfort. The earth was a mother, and her children walked quietly upon her skin. As the night came, the sky turned silver again. The moon rose above the mountains, its reflection trembling in the slow river. Mist gathered once more, wrapping the land in a soft, glowing veil. The dinosaurs rested, their eyes half closed, their bodies still. Only the soft breath of wind and the distant murmur of water filled the silence. It was the beginning of an age, not of war or noise, but of life and balance. The earth was calm, the creatures gentle, the nights long and full of quiet light. Everything that existed moved together, sharing the same rhythm, the same dream. You can feel that dream now, the steady pulse of an ancient world, peaceful and alive. The rivers still flow, the rain still falls, the earth still hums that same old song. And as you listen, you realize that the gentle rise of the dinosaurs was not only the birth of giants, it was the world learning how to breathe. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine yourself standing at the edge of a forest that no human has ever seen. The air is warm and heavy, full of mist that glows faintly in the light of a distant sun. The ground is soft beneath your feet, covered in deep moss that smells of rain and time. Around you, the world rises, trees so tall they disappear into the clouds, their branches weaving together like the ribs of an endless green cathedral. The leaves are broad and shining, catching drops of rain that fall slowly from above. When the wind moves, the forest sighs. It is not the sound of rustling leaves you know. It is deeper, slower, like the breath of the earth itself. The wind that passes through these trees is ancient. It carries the scent of sap, stone, and ocean. It is a wind no human has ever felt, whispering softly through the ages. Sunlight filters through the high canopy, golden and drowsy, breaking into slow beams that drift down to the forest floor. Dust and mist dance together in the light, turning the air into a dream. Every shadow feels alive. Every sound feels like part of a quiet rhythm, the rhythm of a world at peace. Far above, the trees sway gently, their crowns brushing against clouds. They are older than mountains, older than rivers. Their roots twist deep into the soil, touching layers of the earth that still remember fire. When the wind moves, they whisper to each other, their voices low and soft. You cannot understand the words, but you can feel the meaning. Patience, calm, the endless passing of time. Beneath these giants, life moves slowly. Small creatures wander through the ferns, their footsteps almost silent. Their skin glimmers faintly in the filtered light. Some have feathers like thin leaves. Others move on four legs, pausing to listen to the quiet hum that fills the air. You can hear their soft calls, gentle chirps, long hums, the occasional low note that echoes like a lullaby across the trees. It is not noise. It is harmony, a music that has existed since the dawn of life. Pools of clear water gather between the roots, mirroring the tall green world above. Tiny insects skim across the surface, leaving ripples that catch the light. A thin mist hangs low, wrapping the forest floor in silver. The air feels alive, every breath thick with warmth, every sound softened by distance. Somewhere, a far-off rumble, not thunder, but the slow shift of the earth beneath. Even that sound feels gentle, like the heartbeat of something enormous and kind. As you move deeper, the light grows dim, touched with shades of blue and gold. Ferns rise higher than a person, their leaves curled in perfect spirals. The trunks of the trees are smooth, dark, and wide enough to hide whole worlds within them. Moss climbs upward, wrapping the bark in velvet green. The air cools. Drops of water fall from the leaves above, landing with slow, careful sounds. Each drop is a small, patient moment, one heartbeat at a time in a world that does not hurry. In the distance, a river flows, not loudly, but softly, winding between roots and stones. You can hear it breathe, a quiet song of movement and rest. The creatures of the forest come to drink there. You can see them in your mind, gentle, curious, peaceful. They do not rush, they do not fight. They share the water, as if they know it belongs to them all. As the day fades, light slips away like smoke through the trees. The forest turns blue, then silver. Fireflies begin to glow, one by one, tiny lanterns in the mist. The great trees hum quietly, their branches swaying in slow motion. The air cools, and the ground exhales warmth from the day. Somewhere high above, the last light touches the leaves, and then even that disappears. The night returns, soft and deep. You can feel the stillness of the forest settle around you, ancient, eternal, kind. The creatures sleep beneath the roots. The wind moves gently through the tall branches. The trees keep their watch, whispering to each other in a language older than sound. You stand there, listening. The air is calm, the earth breathing slow and steady. You feel small, but safe, a part of this quiet, living world. The forest of the ancient earth is not gone. It lives in memory, in stone, in the air we breathe. It still whispers, even now, to anyone who slows down enough to listen. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine the sky before it belonged to birds. The air is soft and gold, touched by the first light of dawn. The sea below is calm, smooth as glass, stretching endlessly toward the horizon. The world is quiet. No engines, no voices, no sound but the slow rhythm of waves breathing beneath the sky. And then, in that silence, shadows move. Long, graceful, gliding shapes, terraces rising into the morning light. Their wings stretch wide, catching the golden air. They do not flap or rush. They drift. Each movement is smooth, like a thought passing through a dream. The wind carries them effortlessly, their bodies tilting slightly as they turn above the sea. They have flown for millions of years, yet it always looks new, as if every sunrise is the first one the world has ever seen. The sky is endless. It changes slowly from gray to pink to soft orange. Light spills across the waves, turning the water into a living mirror. The terraces glide above it, their reflections gliding below. Two worlds moving together, sky and sea, joined by silence. You can almost feel the warmth of the air as they pass, the brush of wind that follows their wings. One drifts low over the surface, its wingtips skimming the water. Tiny ripples follow behind, breaking the stillness, then fading again into calm. Another rises higher, turning in long, slow circles above the coast, watching the world wake beneath it. Far away, mountains glow faintly in the sun, and the first mist begins to lift from the land. Everything feels wide, open, free. The air is alive with golden light. It moves gently around them, wrapping their wings in warmth. You can see the thin membrane shimmer like silk, stretched between bone and air, strong yet delicate. When the wind catches just right, they tilt and soar, rising higher, weightless against a quiet morning sky. There is no effort in their flight, only ease, like the world itself is helping them stay aloft. Beneath them, the sea changes color, silver, blue, then gold again as the sun climbs higher. Slow waves roll, one after another, each carrying a piece of light across the surface. The world has no noise, no hurry. The only sound is a whisper of air moving over wings, the faint hiss of wind passing through soft membranes. Even the sea seems to breathe in rhythm with them. You can imagine how peaceful it must feel to glide without weight, without destination, following the wind wherever it goes. They do not know time. They do not count distance. They simply move, carried by air, bathed in light. Each glide, each tone, each rise feels infinite. On a rocky cliff by the shore, others rest, wings folded, eyes half closed. The light touches their faces, soft and warm. Around them, small plants sway in the morning breeze. The air smells of salt and stone. They open their wings now and then, stretching slowly, catching the first real warmth of the day. One by one, they step to the edge and let go, falling softly before the wind catches them again. The sea rises to meet them, and they soar once more. The sky feels alive now, not with noise, but with motion, shapes moving in graceful silence. The air shimmers faintly, as though filled with a memory of flight. Even the clouds seem to drift slower, matching the rhythm of wings. The whole world feels like it's breathing. Inhale, exhale, the steady calm of dawn. As the sun climbs higher, shadows shorten, and the gold turns to white. The terraces glide farther out to sea, following the horizon where sky and water meet. Their shapes grow smaller, softer, until they vanish into light. The air remains warm, the sea remains still, and the memory of their flight lingers, a quiet trace of freedom, of peace, of life in perfect balance. Somewhere beyond the edge of sight, they still glide, wings outstretched, sunlight shining through thin veils of skin, the wind whispering around them like an old friend. They do not hurry, and they never fall. The world holds them gently, and the sky remains wide, open, and endless. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine sinking slowly beneath the surface of a calm blue sea. The sunlight above fades gently, breaking into soft ribbons of gold that dance through the water. Everything moves slower here. The waves are no longer loud. They are quiet pulses of energy, rocking the world below. The surface disappears, replaced by endless blue that glows faintly like the inside of a dream. Down here, there's peace. The water is warm, the current soft and patient. Tiny bubbles rise from unseen depths, drifting lazily toward the light. Schools of small, shimmering fish move together like silver dust caught in a sunbeam. Their movement is gentle, no rush, no fear, only calm rhythm. The ocean feels endless, but kind. It holds everything in silence, like a cradle of time. In this deep quiet, shadows begin to move. At first, they are distant, soft outlines gliding through the haze of light. Then they grow clearer, long necks, smooth bodies, flippers sweeping slowly through the water. The giants of the sea, the plesiosaurs, move like dreams made of muscle and grace. Their movements are slow and perfect, each one as fluid as the sea itself. They do not chase or hunt. They drift. Their long necks curve gently as they glide through the dim light, turning toward each other in silent recognition. When they breathe, bubbles rise and scatter toward the surface, glowing briefly in the sun before fading back into blue. The water around them hums faintly, as though it knows them, loves them, remembers them. The sea floor below is covered in soft sand and smooth stone. Long strands of kelp sway like ribbons, brushing the bodies of the creatures as they pass. Tiny crabs crawl over rocks. Slow-moving jellyfish pulse through the shadows, their tentacles glowing with soft white light. Everything here feels alive, but peaceful, a world without noise, without haste, where even giants move in silence. If you could reach out your hand, you'd feel the water glide between your fingers, cool, heavy, and calm. You would hear the faint rhythm of your heartbeat mixing with the slow whoosh of currents. Above, light filters through in golden waves, shifting gently with the tide. Every flicker, every shimmer, feels like a whisper from the ancient world. One of the plesiosaurs drifts closer. Its eyes are large, dark, and calm, not fierce, not afraid, only aware. It moves with quiet confidence, flippers pushing through the water with long, graceful strokes. Its shadow glides across the seafloor, smooth and slow. You can see the sunlight ripple across its skin, patterns of light that move like fireflies in motion. The creature turns slightly, the tip of its flipper brushing a cloud of tiny glowing plankton that rise like stars. All around, life moves gently. A pod of ichthyosaurs swims nearby, their sleek form cutting soft trails of bubbles behind them. They rise toward the surface to breathe, breaking the calm with quiet sighs, before sinking again into the comfort of the deep. Above them, rays of light fall through the blue water like golden curtains. The whole ocean feels like one long breath, one slow and endless exhale. Deeper still, the light begins to fade. The colors change from blue to violet to soft gray. Down here, the giants move by touch and memory. Their flippers glide over ancient rocks, their tails move in slow arcs. Some carry young close beside them, small shapes following the rhythm of their mothers. Even in the darkness, there is no fear, only the calm pulse of water, the steady heartbeat of the deep. Sometimes a sound echoes faintly, a low vibration, soft and round. It's the voice of the ocean itself, speaking in tones no human can hear. The plesiosaurs respond in silence, turning their heads as though listening. They glide closer together, moving in harmony. The sea around them sparkles faintly, as if lit from within. Imagine floating there beside them. No gravity, no weight, only stillness. Your body drifts like theirs, carried by gentle waves. Your breath slows. Your heart quiets. The world above feels far away, forgotten. There is no need to speak, no need to think. Only the soft motion of life, shared in silence. As the sun moves high above the sea, the light grows stronger again, pouring down through the waves. It touches the backs of the creatures, turning their forms into shadows of gold and blue. The ocean shimmers, alive with calm energy. Even the surface glows like glass, and beyond it, the faint shapes of clouds move slowly across the sky. The plesiosaurs begin to rise. Their heads break through the water, droplets falling in slow motion from their skin. The air is warm. The horizon stretches wide, endless. They rest at the surface for a moment, taking in the light, then sink again, graceful, soundless, disappearing into the blue that has always belonged to them. The sea remains, gentle, deep, and eternal. The waves roll softly above the resting giants, carrying the memory of their movements. Somewhere far below, the light fades, and the quiet returns, perfect, undisturbed, and infinite. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine the soft golden light of an ancient sun spreading across wide, endless plains. The air is warm and still. Gentle waves of tall grass move with the slow rhythm of the wind. The world feels open and safe, a quiet place where life walks without hurry. In the distance, you can see them, the gentle herds. Great, calm creatures moving together beneath the glowing sky. Their shapes rise from the haze like living hills, their bodies smooth and heavy, their movements slow and sure. They walk in long lines, side by side, their heads low, their tails swaying like pendulums in perfect rhythm. Dust lifts softly from the ground as their feet press into the dry soil. But it is not noise, it is harmony. Every step, every breath, fits the soft music of the earth. These are the plant eaters, the quiet ones. They do not fight, they do not chase. They live in peace, surrounded by light and warmth. Their world is filled with the scent of ferns and flowers, the soft hum of insects in the air, and the low, steady calls they share with one another, deep, comforting sounds that echo across the plains. The air glows gently as the sun begins to climb higher. Birds, small and ancient, rise from the grass, their wings flashing silver in the light. Far away, a river winds through the land, its surface bright and smooth. The herds move toward it slowly, their shadows long and graceful behind them. Each creature moves at the same calm pace, guided not by command, but by quiet understanding. They know where the water waits. They know they will reach it in time. Some are enormous, their necks stretching high into the sky to nibble the tops of trees. Others are smaller, walking close to their mothers, their steps clumsy but full of wonder. The herd surrounds them, protective and patient. There is no danger here, no fear in their eyes. The land is kind, and the day is long. You can hear the sound of their breathing, slow, deep, steady. It blends with the wind, the whisper of grass, the soft call of distant creatures. The rhythm is soothing, like the heartbeat of a sleeping world. Every movement seems to flow naturally, without effort, without thought. When one stops to graze, another follows. When one lifts its head to look toward the horizon, the rest pause too, sharing the stillness. The river appears ahead, a ribbon of light cutting through the gold of the plains. The air cools near the water. The grass grows greener, thicker. The herd spreads out along the banks. Some drink, dipping their heads slowly into the shining water. Others wade in, the ripples circling outward, touching the reflections of clouds. The sun flickers on their skin, turning them into living statues, peaceful giants frozen in light. A soft breeze moves through the valley, carrying the scent of rain from faraway mountains. The dinosaurs lift their heads slightly, sensing it. The air hums with calm energy, a quiet promise of life continuing, unbroken. The young ones play at the edge of the water, splashing gently, their laughter-like chirps echoing faintly through the fields. The adults watch, still and serene, their eyes full of quiet knowing. As the day fades, the light turns warmer, softer. The herds gather again, forming loose circles on the plains. They rest close together, their bodies touching, the warmth of one flowing into another. The sky above is painted in pale pink and deep gold, and the first stars begin to appear. The world holds its breath for a moment, perfectly balanced between day and night. In the distance, you can see the silhouettes of the great creatures against the horizon, necks curved, tails low, eyes half-closed in the fading glow. Their slow movements grow still, their heavy bodies sinking into rest. The wind continues to whisper through the grass, singing them to sleep. This is how they lived, together, calm and unafraid. They did not hurry through the world. They simply belonged to it. Every day was a gentle rhythm of light, grass, and breath. Every night, a quiet dream beneath the stars. And as you watch them fade into the dusk, you feel their peace settle in your own chest, that deep, steady calm of a world without worry. The gentle herds keep moving in memory, their slow footsteps echoing through time, soft and eternal. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine a soft rain beginning to fall over an ancient world. The air is warm and heavy, filled with the scent of wet earth and growing things. The sky is pale gray, calm and endless. There is no thunder, no storm, only the gentle rhythm of water meeting the land. The first drops touch the leaves high above, large as sails and smooth as glass. The sound is soft and hollow, a slow tapping that echoes through the trees. Each drop rolls down the curve of a leaf, gathering into clear beads that tremble at the edge before falling again, hitting the next layer of green below. The forest becomes an orchestra of water, steady, tender, timeless. You can almost hear it now, the delicate tapping, the slow drips joining into tiny streams that wind through moss and fern. The rain is patient. It falls evenly, without rush, without pause. It feels like the earth exhaling, washing away dust, feeding roots, polishing every stone until it shines. Far above, the canopy catches the heaviest drops, turning them into soft trails of silver that fall through the air in long, shimmering lines. The ground below darkens slowly as the rain soaks in. Pools form in the low places, gathering reflections of the swaying leaves and the faint glow of the sky. On the open plains, the rain falls freely, painting ripples on every puddle and lake. The grass bends gently under its weight, moving like soft waves on a sleeping sea. Each drop seems to make its own tiny sound, and together they create a song that feels older than time, a song of peace, of renewal, of the earth being touched and comforted. At the edges of the lakes, where herds once walked, the rain begins to fill the footprints left behind. The water gathers in them, swirling gently before becoming still. The marks disappear one by one, until the surface is smooth again, clean, whole, and new. The world erases its own memories softly, never in anger, but in rest. You can picture the dinosaurs standing quietly in the rain. Their scales glisten, shining like wet stone. Some tilt their heads toward the sky, eyes half-closed, as if feeling the touch of every drop. Others stand still, letting the water run down their sides, cooling their skin, cleaning the dust of the day. No one moves quickly. The rain slows everything down, wrapping the world in its rhythm. The sound becomes a lullaby, steady, repeating, hypnotic. The leaves whisper. The puddles sigh. Streams form in the distance, sliding over rocks, carrying bits of soil and leaf toward larger rivers. The air smells fresh, full of life. You can feel the cool mist on your skin, light as breath. As the rain deepens, a soft fog begins to rise. The line between earth and sky fades. The sound becomes softer, gentler, until it feels like it's falling inside you, a heartbeat, a slow rhythm, a steady calm. Then, just as slowly, it begins to ease. The drops grow lighter, the spaces between them longer. The last few fall like whispers. The air is still, silver, and full of peace. The forest glows faintly with moisture, every leaf shining. The puddles reflect the quiet sky. The earth takes a slow breath. The rain has stopped, but its rhythm remains, a memory that lingers in every drop clinging to every leaf. The world is clean again, calm again, dreaming again. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, As you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine standing in a world where the air is thick with warmth and the horizon glows softly with light. The land stretches far in every direction, wide and silent, but not still. Beneath your feet, the earth hums gently, a deep, steady vibration that feels almost like breathing. Far away, beyond the forests and rivers, volcanoes rise. Their peaks are lost in clouds, and their fire burns with a quiet grace. The world is alive, but calm. The first thing you notice is a light, a faint orange glow that never flickers too fast, like a candle seen through fog. It comes from the mountains, where molten rivers flow deep inside the earth. Sometimes, the glow brightens for a moment, spreading across the clouds, painting the night sky in amber hues. Then it fades again, leaving only the sound, a low, distant rumble that rolls across the plains, soft and slow, like thunder heard through a dream. There is no violence here. The earth's fire is not angry. It moves like a heartbeat, steady and ancient. Smoke rises in thin lines toward the stars, blending with the mist of the upper air. It looks almost gentle, like the planet whispering to the sky, reminding that they are both alive. The smell of minerals and ash mixes with the sweetness of wet grass, and the two scents become one, a perfume of creation, warm and grounding. If you walk closer in your mind, you can feel the air shift, heavier, warmer, glowing faintly around you. The ground is covered in black rock, smooth and glistening from old lava, cooled by centuries of rain. Steam escapes from tiny cracks, swirling upward in ghostly threads. It is quiet, but full of movement, small hisses, gentle sighs, and the low hum that never stops. It feels like standing near the pulse of the world itself. The volcanoes rise like guardians, tall, patient, ancient. Their slopes are wrapped in mist, their summits glowing softly against the gray sky. Sometimes, a soft red light spills from the cracks near their crowns, flowing like slow honey down the dark stone. It lights up the night not with fear, but with wonder. From a distance, you can see how it touches everything, the edges of forests, the smooth curve of rivers, even the underside of clouds that drift lazily above. At the foot of the mountains, life continues as if the fire does not frighten it. Ferns grow between rocks. Streams of clear water wind around old lava flows, their surfaces shimmering with heat. Small creatures wander through the valleys, their steps slow and calm. They drink from pools that steam gently in the air, as if sipping from the warmth of the earth itself. Even they seem to understand that this fire is not a threat. It is a heartbeat, an old song, part of the same rhythm that moves the wind and tides. When night deepens, the glow grows stronger. The mountains seem to breathe, exhaling soft clouds of smoke that catch the starlight as they rise. The stars themselves look closer here, hanging just above the faint orange haze. Their light mingles with the earth's fire, creating a sky painted with silver and gold. The air hums faintly, and every breath feels heavy with peace. You can imagine standing there, watching from afar. The ground beneath you vibrates softly, like a giant asleep. The air is warm on your skin, carrying the faint crackle of molten stone deep below. There is no rush, no fear, no sound but a low music of creation, fire, air, earth, and silence, all blending together in perfect balance. The planet is alive, not as something wild or angry, but as something dreaming. Every rumble, every glow, every puff of smoke is part of that dream, a reminder that even stillness is movement, and even silence is sound. The volcanoes are not destroyers tonight. They are keepers of warmth, the slow beating hearts of the world. As you breathe, you can almost feel that same rhythm inside you, slow, steady, calm. The earth breathes, and you breathe with it. The glow fades to soft red. The air cools. The smoke rises higher, reaching for the stars. And as the world grows quiet again, the horizon glows one last time, a dim, peaceful shimmer of life deep within the earth. The fire sleeps, the mountains rest, and the land hums with quiet energy. The planet keeps breathing. The night remains warm. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine taking a deep, slow breath in a world untouched by cities or machines. The air around you feels thick, soft, and alive, heavy with warmth, full of invisible life. It carries the scent of wet leaves, fern sap, and rich earth, the breath of a planet that has only just learned to exhale. Every breath you take feels like a gift from the green world itself. You are standing in a forest so vast it has no end. Trees tower above you, their branches weaving together to make a roof of green and gold. The sunlight filters through the leaves in long, slow beams, turning the air into honey. Tiny particles drift within it, shining like dust caught in morning light. When you breathe, you can taste the world, fresh, deep, clean. It fills your lungs slowly, spreading warmth through your body, as if the air itself wants to comfort you. Long ago, this breath was new. The plants had just begun to fill the world with oxygen, gentle exhalations from every leaf, every blade of grass, every living thing that grew toward the light. They gave more than they took. The forest, the ferns, the moss-covered stones, all of them breathing together, creating a world you could live inside. The air was thick with their kindness. You could imagine the sound of it, the slow whisper of leaves moving together, the sigh of wind brushing through the canopy, the faint rustle of life unseen. It feels endless, the earth inhaling, exhaling, over and over, the same rhythm that moves your chest now. There is no hurry in this breath. It rises and falls like the tide, calm and eternal. When the wind moves, it carries secrets. It drifts across lakes, picking up the scent of rain and moss. It brushes through flowers, collecting sweetness. It glides over the skin of rivers, cool and smooth, then slides through the roots of ferns, warm again. Every breath you take now once belonged to the earth. It has touched the trees, the oceans, the soil. It has traveled through time itself to reach you. In this ancient air, even silence feels full. The oxygen wraps around you like a soft blanket. It makes every sound clearer, the distant hum of insects, the low call of a creature hidden in the leaves, the faint drip of water falling from a branch. The air carries everything, holding it gently so nothing is lost. You breathe deeper. The air enters your lungs slowly, heavy but pure. It cools your throat, fills your chest, and settles into every part of you. You can feel it spreading, patient and kind. Each breath feels older than memory, drawn from the same endless rhythm that once kept the dinosaurs alive, that once filled the lungs of the first creatures to walk the land. The air itself feels alive, not just moving, but thinking, feeling. It remembers the first forests, the first rains, the first sunlight that warmed the green leaves. It has changed over millions of years, yet it is still the same quiet strength that connects everything that breathes. Sometimes, when the wind slows, the forest falls silent. In that silence, you can hear the earth's heartbeat, soft, distant, steady. It beats beneath the soil, beneath the roots, beneath the rivers. The air carries that sound too, faint and low, a reminder that you are not separate from it, only part of its quiet circle. Above you, the leaves sway gently. Their edges glimmer in the fading light. A slow breeze moves through the canopy, carrying coolness down to the ground. It brushes your face, fills your lungs once more, and you exhale, sending a small piece of yourself back into the world. The exchange is endless, effortless. The forest gives, and you return. As night begins to fall, the air thickens again, warm and silver under the moon. Mist gathers between the trees, glowing faintly in the starlight. You breathe it in, and it feels like time itself, ancient, kind, eternal. The scent of ferns deepens. The air hums softly, a lullaby for the earth. You take one last deep breath, slow, full, peaceful. It enters you like memory, like home. You hold it for a moment, then let it go, joining the rhythm of everything around you. The ancient breath of air continues, soft and eternal, flowing through forests, oceans, and stars, the same breath that began long before you and will go on long after. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine the world not as it is now, but as it has always been, a slow, moving dream, breathing through ages of silence and change. The earth lies beneath you, patient and eternal, wrapped in fog and sunlight, watching the long march of time unfold. There are no clocks here, no seconds or years, only the soft rhythm of becoming, the slow tide of life rolling forward, one quiet moment after another. The world has never been still, yet it has never been in a hurry. Mountains rise like slow breaths, growing so gradually that even the sky forgets when they began. Rivers carve their paths through stone, one grain of sand at a time, shaping valleys with gentle persistence. Forests bloom and fade, then bloom again, as if the planet itself is dreaming of green. Every change, every transformation, happens softly, like waves folding over each other in endless rhythm. Imagine watching the continents drift, not suddenly, but slowly, so slowly that you would not notice if you stood still for a lifetime. They move like clouds of rock, crossing oceans, colliding, parting again. Beneath them, molten rivers flow in silence, carrying warmth from the heart of the earth. Above them, stars rise and fall through the ages, lighting the way for creatures who do not yet exist. Life follows this rhythm too. From the first spark that floated in the ocean to the great herds that walk the land, everything moves in cycles. Birth, growth, change, rest, again and again, like the beating of a heart that never stops. It is not the rhythm of hours or days, but of ages, slow, calm, unbroken. Sometimes the world changes its face. Ice spreads quietly across the mountains, covering forests in white silence. Then, over thousands of years, the ice melts away, and flowers return to the valleys. New creatures emerge, small at first, then larger, stronger, more complex. They do not rush to become what they are. They unfold like leaves in spring, gently, naturally, as if the earth itself were teaching them patience. The sky, too, changes in its own slow way. The color of the light shifts over centuries. The sun burns a little warmer, then cooler, then warm again. Stars move across the heavens, so gradually that their paths become invisible to the living eye. But time sees it all, every flicker, every drift, every silent turn of the earth on its ancient axis. The slow march of time is not cruel. It is kind, because it never stops to judge. It simply moves, allowing everything to grow, to fall, to rise again. Even the stones remember it. Each layer of rock holding stories of oceans that once covered the land, of forests that once whispered above the waves. Fossils lie quietly in the soil, not as remains, but as dreams the earth chose to keep. You can almost feel it, the pulse of time beneath your feet, gentle and steady, like a slow heartbeat echoing through the planet. It doesn't rush forward. It flows, wrapping around everything it touches. The dinosaurs that once ruled the valleys are gone, but their breath lingers in the air. The plants they walked among still return each spring, carrying traces of their age in their veins. Nothing ever truly disappears. It only changes shape, soft as mist, quiet as memory. If you could stand still long enough, you'd see how everything connects, how mountains rise from seas, how rain becomes stone, how stars become dust that one day forms life again. It's all part of the same slow rhythm, the same gentle way that has carried the world from darkness into light and back again, countless times. Time, in this way, is like sleep. It moves without sound, without edge, turning the world softly as we rest. It keeps everything in balance, the growth, the stillness, the endings, and the beginnings. And so the earth continues to breathe, slowly, calmly, endlessly. The march of time does not end, because it is not a path but a circle, the same dream repeating in different forms, over and over, forever. You are part of it too, your breath joining the same rhythm that has moved through every living thing since the beginning. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine a soft stretch of land beneath a gentle sun, golden sand warm from the day, quiet wind moving over dunes, and the faint smell of fern and rain in the air. The world feels peaceful and alive, resting in its own silence. Along the edges of the valley, hidden among tall grasses and scattered stones, lie the nests, round, shallow circles pressed gently into the sand, holding the next breath of life inside them. The nests are warm to the touch. The sun has baked the earth through the long afternoon, leaving the sand soft and comforting. Within each nest, smooth white eggs rest in perfect stillness, their surfaces faintly glowing in the light. The air around them hums with warmth. Every grain of sand holds quiet purpose, keeping, guarding, waiting. The mothers watch nearby. Their great bodies rise slowly from the earth, calm and unmoving. Their eyes are soft and watchful, half-lidded with patience. They breathe in slow, steady rhythm, as though matching the heartbeat of the tiny lives within the eggs. Every so often, they shift slightly, pressing their tails or legs closer to the nest to share their warmth. The sand beneath them holds a weight of trust. The world around them is still. A soft wind brushes the surface of the nest, carrying the scent of wet leaves and distant water. Somewhere far away, another herd calls. Low, gentle sounds that echo faintly through the valley. The sky above is pale blue, and a few thin clouds drift like feathers. The day moves slowly, and nothing disturbs the peace. Inside the shells, life stays quietly. Small hearts beat beneath fragile walls, quick and steady, tiny sparks of motion in the stillness. The eggs look motionless, yet each holds a secret rhythm. The faint flutter of wings yet to unfold, the slow movement of little limbs, the beginning of breath. The world outside is vast, but they do not know it yet. They only know warmth, darkness, and the steady hum of the earth. At night, the temperature cools, but the mothers do not sleep deeply. They stay close, their bodies forming a wall against the chill. When the moon rises, its silver light touches the sand, making the nest shimmer faintly. The mother's eyes catch the light for a moment, not in fear, but in quiet devotion. They exhale slowly, a low breath that rolls over the nest like a lullaby. The wind hushes, and the world seems to listen. Time moves softly here. Days pass like sighs. The eggs rest beneath the mother's care, untouched by anything but air and warmth. Sometimes the rain comes, not heavy, but light, tapping gently on the shells, sinking into the sand, cooling the earth before the sun returns to warm it again. Each drop adds to the rhythm of waiting, a soft promise that life continues even in silence. The mothers seem eternal in their stillness, but there is love in their patience. Their gaze never leaves the nests. They shift their weight, nudge the sand, press close when the wind grows cold. They are protectors, dreamers, and keepers of the future all at once. If you listen closely, you can almost hear it, a faint pulse beneath the sand, like the echo of tiny drums. It is the sound of life before the first breath, the whisper of creation still hidden inside fragile shells. The air itself seems to lean in to hear, holding its breath with care. And so the nests stay warm, the mothers keep watch, and the earth hums softly around them, patient, nurturing, endless. Deep within those small ovals of life, tiny hearts keep beating, one after another, quiet and sure, waiting for the moment the world will open. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine the world long after the sounds of life have faded. The herds have walked on. The rivers have changed their paths. The air has grown still again. Only the wind moves now, brushing softly across empty plains, carrying with the scent of rain, sand, and memory. Beneath that calm surface, deep under the soil, something quiet is happening. The earth is keeping a secret. The sand is warm on top, cool beneath. Each grain shifts slowly, carried by the wind, then settles again in silence. Day after day, year after year, layer after layer, it falls, gathers, and presses down. Beneath it lie the shapes of what once lived, the curved bones of a long neck, the imprint of a fern leaf, the faint outline of a claw once used to walk, to touch, to live. The world above forgets quickly, but the earth below remembers. Time passes differently here. There are no minutes or hours, only the steady fall of dust, the slow weight of soil, the endless patience of stone. Rain comes and goes, soaking through the layers, carrying tiny minerals that fill the hollow places where life once rested. Bit by bit, bone turns to stone. Shells, leaves, and footprints all change too, not gone, not erased, but transformed. The earth does not take them away. It keeps them safe, wrapping them in silence. You can imagine it, the soft press of centuries building up like a blanket. Volcanoes rumble far away, theirs drifting through the air. Rivers flood and dry again, spreading new layers of mud across the land. Plants grow, die, and return to dust. Every piece adds to the earth's memory, sealing the past deeper and deeper below. What was once alive becomes part of the planet's body, resting quietly under its skin. There is peace in this process. It is slow, kind, almost loving. The world covers what it has lost the way a mother might cover a sleeping child, gently, with warmth and care. Nothing is rushed. Nothing is forced. The bones beneath the sand do not fight the change. They surrender to it, becoming still, becoming part of something larger. The years stretch into centuries, the centuries into ages. Above the ground, the landscape shifts, forests become deserts, seas rise and fall, mountains break apart. But below, the bones remain. They are no longer fragile. They have become stone, strong and eternal, waiting patiently in the dark. The patterns of the past are locked within them. The curve of a spine, the marks of muscle, the soft hollow where once a heart might have been. Sometimes, the wind above carries whispers of their existence, faint memories hidden in the rustle of sand. If you listen closely, it almost sounds like breathing. The earth does not mourn what it buries. It understands that to rest is also to endure. Imagine standing there, in the quiet, knowing that beneath your feet lies a story written not in word but in stone. Whole worlds lie below, the memory of a footstep, the curve of a rib, the trace of a leaf that once caught sunlight. They are not gone. They are simply sleeping, waiting for the moment the earth will open again and let the light return. And one day, when time has turned enough circles, the wind will shift and the sand will move. The edge of a bone will appear, pale and perfect against the golden earth. A fossil, not a ghost, but a whisper from a time when the world was young and full of life. The earth will breathe again through what it once covered, reminding us that nothing ever truly ends. It only changes form, only falls into silence for a while. As you breathe now, think of that same rhythm, the slow layering of moments, the steady patience of time. Each breath you take adds to the story of the world. Each heartbeat joins the quiet music of things that last beyond their first life. The bones beneath the sand do not grieve. They rest, they wait, they endure. The earth holds them close, dreaming through the ages, keeping their shape safe in her endless embrace. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine standing in the silence of an ancient night, a night untouched by cities, by lamps, by noise. The world is vast and dark, but not empty. The air is cool, carrying the scent of wet earth and sleeping leaves. You look up, and there they are, the stars, countless and clear, the same one that shine above you now, watching over a very different world. The sky stretches endlessly, a deep ocean of black and blue. Each star glows softly, not sharp or cold, but warm and alive, like small fires burning across eternity. They do not hurry. They do not fade. They move in their own rhythm, slow and sure, like dancers crossing the stage of the heavens. The world beneath them, the forests, the seas, the mountains, rest in their light, bathed in silver calm. You can imagine how the land looked then. Wide plains glimmering under moonlight, rivers reflecting the stars like long ribbons of glass. The surface of lakes shimmering as the night wind ripples them gently. Even the quiet shapes of dinosaurs resting in the grass are touched by that same gentle glow. Their eyes close. Their bodies rise and fall with slow breaths. The sky keeps watch over them, a silent guardian made of light. There is no sound except for the soft rhythm of the planet breathing. A light wind moves through the trees, making the leaves whisper. Somewhere in the distance, water falls softly, its voice blending with the low hum of insects in the warm air. But above all, the stars remain still, patient, eternal, peaceful. Their light has traveled for millions of years, crossing endless space just to fall on this sleeping world. Somewhere out there, the great constellations are already forming, patterns of light that will one day have names, though no one yet exists to speak them. Orion's Belt, the Great Bear, the Southern Cross. Tonight, they are simply stars, scattered like spilled jewels across the dark. They shine for themselves, for the ocean below, for the ferns and the herds and the quiet earth beneath their gaze. If you could stand there long enough, you would see them move, not quickly, not visibly, but slowly, a patient turning of the heavens, as the earth itself drifts through its endless sleep. The stars rise from one side of the horizon and fade on the other, like the slow breathing of light. Time stretches. Moments blur. The night becomes infinite. The air feels cool and soft on your skin. You take a deep breath, and it smells of life, clean, gentle, untouched. Every inhale feels like it belongs to the sky itself. You can almost feel the stars watching, their light brushing against you as softly as a hand on your shoulder. They do not speak, but you can feel their message, that everything is connected and that nothing truly disappears. The same stars that once shone on the dinosaurs now shine on you. The same light that touched ancient oceans touches your face tonight. A meteor passes, slow and bright, carving a line of silver across the sky. For a moment, the whole world glows. The rivers gleam brighter, the clouds catch fire, and then it fades, gone, but not forgotten. The sky returns to calm, as if exhaling. The stars resume their gentle dance, each one holding its place in the vast, unhurried pattern of the universe. You can almost hear them now, not as sound, but as feeling, a low hum that fills the air, the heartbeat of the cosmos. It vibrates through everything, through stone, through water, through the quiet pulse of every living thing. It reminds you that the same sky has watched over every moment of life, every change, every heartbeat since the beginning. It will continue long after, carrying the memory of all things in its glow. The night deepens. The stars shimmer, their reflections trembling in the calm lakes below. The wind fades. The earth lies perfectly still beneath the weight of its own peace. And above it all, the stars keep moving, not fast, not loud, but gracefully, forever. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine the ancient world bathed in golden light, a land of long shadows, soft wind, and quiet breath. The forests are wide and deep, stretching all the way to the horizon. Rivers glow like ribbons of sunlight, winding slowly through ferns and stone. The air hums with warmth, full of life and scent and sound. And in the middle of it all walks the great ruler of this gentle world, the Tyrannosaurus. He is not the monster of stories or nightmares. He does not roar to frighten or crush to destroy. He moves with a calm strength, each step soft but certain, each breath slow and deep. His eyes are amber in the light, calm and thoughtful, watching everything, understanding everything. The earth seems to make room for him when he walks, not out of fear, but out of respect. The land around him is still. The air shimmers faintly in the heat of the afternoon. Insects hum between the tall grasses. Small birds with feathered arms flutter from tree to tree, filling the air with soft chirps. The Tyrannosaurus moves through it all like a slow-moving shadow, part of the rhythm of the world. He does not rush. He does not need to. Every muscle, every motion, seems guided by ancient grace. When he passes beneath the trees, the light flickers across his skin, gold, green, bronze. His breath rises in clouds when he exhales, swirling like mist before fading into the warm air. The forest hums quietly around him. Even the smallest creatures sense his presence, pausing in their movements, as though the earth itself has just drawn a long, patient breath. He walks toward the river. The sound of running water grows louder, but still soft, steady, soothing. At the edge, he lowers his massive head and drinks. The surface ripples, carrying his reflection outward, the great shape of the king of his world, calm and steady in the golden light. Drops fall slowly from his mouth, landing in wide circles that shimmer before fading. The air smells of mud, ferns, and cool stone. You can almost feel the peace of it. The ground beneath him is firm and warm, holding his weight with ease. Around him, dragonflies hover, their wings catching the sun. A gentle breeze moves through the leaves above, making the trees whisper to one another. Time feels slow here. Even the river seems to flow at a gentler pace, as if it too respects the calmness of the great creature beside it. The Tyrannosaurus lifts his head and looks across the plain. In the distance, herds of plant eaters graze quietly, unbothered. He watches them, but does not move. He is not hungry. He is full, and the day is long. The world does not tremble beneath his gaze. It rests beneath it. The balance of life, for now, is perfect. Everything breathing, everything alive, everything enough. When the wind shifts, it carries new scents. The sweet fragrance of flowers, the faint smoke of faraway volcanoes, the smell of rain beginning somewhere beyond the hills. The T-Rex closes his eyes for a moment, feeling the air brush over his face. His nostrils flare slightly, and a low, deep sound hums in his chest. Not a growl, but a sigh. The sound travels across the land, slow and deep, and fades like thunder softened by distance. The sun lowers gently toward the horizon. The light turns warmer, redder, softer. Shadows stretch across the ground, long and thin. Birds begin to quiet, their songs fading into the evening hum of the forest. The Tyrannosaurus turns toward the sinking light, his skin glowing like bronze. Each scale catches the sun, turning his body into a living sculpture. He begins to move again, slow and deliberate, through tall grass that brushes against his legs. Night will come soon, but he is not afraid of darkness. He knows this land. Every scent, every shape, every sound belongs to him as much as he belongs to it. He pauses at the crest of a hill. Below him, the world is still glowing, rivers reflecting the last light, trees swaying, creatures finding rest. The T-Rex watches, quiet and content. His breath comes slow, his eyes half close. The earth feels calm beneath him. Above, the first stars appear, faint but steady. They shine on his back as he lowers himself to the ground. The grass folds under his weight. He exhales deeply, the sound low and peaceful. Around him, night creatures begin to stir, small footsteps, soft wings, the faint rustle of leaves. The great ruler closes his eyes. His chest rises and falls in rhythm with the world around him. This is not the image of power we often imagine, not sharp teeth or wild noise, but stillness. Strength not as violence, but as peace. The Tyrannosaurus ruled a living world of warmth and light, and in his calm, that world found balance. The night deepens. The stars turn slowly above the quiet land. The river whispers softly in the distance. The great creature sleeps, and the earth sleeps with him, together, breathing, dreaming, alive. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine a valley bathed in golden morning light. Mist curls low along the ground, sliding gently through the grass, and the air carries the scent of damp earth and wild ferns. In the distance, a soft rhythm begins, not thunder, not storm, but the deep, steady sound of footsteps that move with the patience of time itself. Out of the haze, they appear, the long-necked dreamers, the gentle giants of the ancient world. They move slowly, their shapes vast yet peaceful. Their bodies shimmer in the sunlight, each step careful and quiet. Their necks stretch high above the trees, reaching toward the clouds as if they were tasting the air heaven. When they breathe, the sound is soft, a long exhale that rises like wind over water. Their eyes are calm and deep, filled with a kind of peace that only creatures of great strength and kindness can hold. Around them, the land glows. The tall grass bends with every step they take, waving in slow motion, golden in the light. Birds perch on their backs, tiny against the endless sweep of skin and muscle, riding the steady rhythm of their movement. Each sauropod moves in perfect balance with the others. No leader, no follower, only harmony. The herd is like a slow river of life, flowing across the plain. Their tails move behind them in smooth arcs, brushing the earth like paint across a canvas. Their great necks sway with gentle grace, sometimes lowering to pull soft leaves from the tops of trees, sometimes rising again to touch the sky. You can almost feel the ground vibrate faintly beneath their weight, not in a way that disturbs, but in a way that soothes, like the heartbeat of the planet. The air is warm and full of sound, distant bird calls, the rustle of leaves, the hum of insects, but all of it blend together into quiet music. Above, the clouds drift slowly, and as the sauropods move, their long necks pass through that thin white mist. For a moment, it looks as if they are part of the sky itself, the earth and heaven connected through their living shapes. The young ones walk close to their mothers, their smaller necks bobbing up and down in imitation. They stumble sometimes, but the adults nudge them gently with their massive sides, helping them find their rhythm again. There is patience in every movement, no rush, no fear. Only the shared pulse of life moving forward, one step at a time. They reach a grove of trees at the edge of the valley. The ground is cooler here, shaded and green. The sauropods begin to feed, pulling branches down with slow care, never breaking more than they need. Leaves fall softly around them, spinning through the air like drifting feathers. The sunlight filters through the canopy in pale rays, touching their skin with flickers of light. The forest seems to breathe with them, its branches swaying gently, its shadows shifting to match their rhythm. When they move again, the sun is higher, turning the mist to gold. Dust rises behind them, glowing in the light. The air hums faintly with heat. From a distance, they look like moving mountains, living parts of the earth itself. Their silhouettes stretch across the horizon, tall and steady, their necks tracing graceful lines against the sky. The sight feels eternal, like something that has always been and always will be. As the day passes, they find a river and wade in, the water rippling around their legs. Their movements create waves that spread outward, touching the banks in slow, even rhythm. They drink deeply, lowering their great heads, their reflections trembling in the surface. The youngest splash beside them, creating tiny ripples that vanish against the larger ones made by their elders. The sound of the river blends with the deep breath of the herd, calm, steady, endless. Evening comes softly. The sky turns pale lavender, the sun fading into amber light. The giants settle on the plain again, folding their long necks gracefully to rest. The clouds drift low, brushing their faces as they close their eyes. The air cools. Crickets begin to sing. In the fading light, they seem like dreams made of earth and air, immense yet tender, powerful yet kind. They belong to the land completely, as much a part of it as the mountains or rivers. The long-necked dreamers rest now, their breathing slow and deep, their shadows melting into the coming night. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine a soft evening falling over the ancient world. The sun has begun to sink behind the distant hills, turning the sky into a wash of amber and violet. The heat of the day fades, leaving behind the warmth of the earth and the scent of wet grass. A wide river winds through the valley, smooth and glass-like, catching every color of the sky. The world has grown quiet. Even the wind has slowed, as if pausing to listen. Along the banks, the dinosaurs come to drink. They move slowly, with care, their great shapes glowing faintly in the dim light. Their steps make soft sounds in the damp soil, and when they stop, the earth settles beneath them with a sigh. The air is still enough to hear the river breathing, a gentle current sliding over stone, whispering to itself in tones only the water can make. The first to reach the edge bends its neck toward the surface. Its reflection ripples gently, stretching and swaying with the flow. Then another joins, and another, until the still river holds a whole gathering of mirrored shapes, long necks, wide bodies, tails curved like brushstrokes in a painting. The scene feels timeless, as if the water has waited all day for this quiet moment. When they drink, they do not hurry. Each mouthful is slow and thoughtful, the water moving in and out with soft rhythm. Droplets fall from their jaws and return to the river, joining circles of light that drift outward, fading into the dusk. The air hums faintly with insects and the low croak of creatures hidden in the reeds. It is a sound of life winding down, peaceful and complete. Farther along the bank, smaller dinosaurs gather too, families with young ones who press close to the water, uncertain but curious. They lean forward, their tiny reflections trembling on the surface before breaking apart with the first sip. The larger ones watch over them, patient and still. Even the smallest splash feels sacred in the quiet of the evening. The river carries their reflections downstream, stretching them into long, golden lines. The colors of the sky mix with the shapes of the creatures, and for a moment, it is hard to tell where the world ends and the water begins. Everything, the air, the river, the land, seems joined in one slow breath. As the light fades further, the sky turns deeper blue, and stars begin to show above. The river catches their shimmer, scattering faint silver sparks across its surface. The dinosaurs lift their heads, the last drops falling from their mouths like glass beads. They stand together in silence, their eyes reflecting the first light of the night. The herd begins to move again, slow and unbothered. The ground trembles faintly under their weight, then grows still once more. The water settles behind them, smooth again, calm again, holding the memory of their shapes just beneath the surface. The river flows on, quiet and endless. It remembers everything, the touch of their feet, the sound of their breath, the ripples they left behind. The world exhales. The night deepens. The air cools, smelling of stone and moonlight. The dinosaurs fade into the distance, their silhouettes merging with the shadows of trees. The river continues to shine, carrying their reflections toward the sea. The earth rests in peace, every sound soft, every movement slow, every breath full of calm. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine the sound of the ancient wind, not fierce, not cold, but gentle, deep, and alive. It moves through a world untouched by cities or machines. The forests rise like green oceans, their canopies stretching so high that clouds get caught in the branches. The air is thick with life, and the wind weaves through it all like an invisible river, carrying the music of the earth. It begins softly, a sigh that drifts between the leaves. The sound is low and endless, like a secret being told to the trees. The giant ferns bow slightly as the air passes over them. Moss shivers on the bark. High above, the treetops sway, brushing against each other in rhythm, whispering in a language older than words. Every branch seems to hum. Every leaf sings its own quiet note. Together, they create a sound that feels like breathing, slow, eternal, full of peace. You can hear it if you listen closely, not one sound, but many, a gentle rustle, a soft hum, the faint hiss of air sliding through the needles of ancient conifers. Somewhere far away, the wind gathers strength, rises over the hills, and returns again, bringing with it the scent of rain and stone. It touches the ground and lifts the dust, swirls around the roots of giant trees, then rises back to the canopy, carrying the stories of the land wherever it goes. In some places, it moves through open plains where herds once grazed, brushing across the tall grass with a sound like water. In others, it slips into the mouths of caves, humming softly through the stone. It never stops moving, never rests, yet it never feels hurried. The ancient wind is no destination. It drifts the way dreams do, slowly, endlessly, full of quiet meaning. Sometimes it grows bolder. The trees bend and sway, their vast bodies groaning with age. Leaves scatter into the air, turning in spirals before falling again like soft green rain. The wind does not break them. It carries them gently to the ground, where they settle and wait to become part of the earth again. Even in its strength, the wind is kind. Imagine standing there, deep in that forest. The ground beneath you is cool, soft with fallen leaves. When the wind moves, you feel it against your skin, a soft touch, almost human, full of warmth. It slides through your hair, fills your lungs, moves around you as if it knows you. You breathe in, and it becomes part of you. You breathe out, and you become part of it. For a moment, there is no difference between you and the world, only air, motion, and peace. The sound changes with the time of day. In the morning, it whispers through mist and dew, carrying the soft calls of distant creatures waking. At midday, it warms, filled with sunlight and the buzz of life. By evening, it cools again, moving slower, lower, softer, wrapping the world in its calm breath. When night falls, it becomes a lullaby, a deep hum that drifts between tree trunks and across the open fields, rocking the earth into sleep. Even the creatures listen. Small dinosaurs lift their heads, eyes half closed, letting the air flow across their faces. Feathers ripple, ferns lean. The wind touches everything equally, mountain, river, creature, and leaf. It connects them, binds them, reminds them they are all part of one slow, endless song. Above the treetops, the stars shimmer faintly through moving clouds. The wind reaches them too, invisible but present, stirring the thin air where the sky begins. From there, it looks down on the sleeping world, a vast land of green and silver, breathing quietly beneath its touch. You can almost hear it now, the whispering wind, carrying through time, through layers of earth and memory. The same air that moved through those forests still moves today. It has never stopped. It has touched every creature that has ever breathed, every mountain that has ever risen, every ocean that has ever waved. It is the earth's oldest voice, gentle, endless, alive. The wind hums its slow song through all time, reminding us that peace is not stillness, but motion, soft, patient, eternal. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine the earth as it once was, warm, alive, and glowing softly beneath a sky of drifting ash and light. It was a time when fire and stone were not enemies, but partners in creation. The ground itself would breathe, rise, and tremble, not from anger, not from destruction, but from life. The earth was not breaking apart. It was growing, building, dreaming itself into new shapes. In the distance, mountains shimmered red in the twilight. The tops of volcanoes glowed with molten light, their edges lined with smoke that rose slowly into the air like silk. The sound of the world's heart could be heard in the low rumble beneath your feet, a deep, steady pulse that rolled across the land. It was not loud or frightening. It was calm, like the beating of something ancient and kind. The sky was never empty then. Thin streaks of fire painted it with gold and crimson, turning the clouds into slow-moving rivers of light. Even the night shimmered, the glow from the volcanoes reaching far across the plains, painting the forest in hues of orange and copper. The air was warm and full of scent, minerals, salt, smoke, and something sweet, the smell of new earth being born. When the ground trembled, it was like a breath, the slow inhale of a living planet. Stones shifted, cracks opened, and from deep within, the earth exhaled streams of molten light. Lava flowed down the mountainsides, glowing bright against the dark soil. It moved with the patience of honey, slow and steady, spreading across the land. As it cooled, it formed new ground, smooth black plains that steamed in the rain, waiting to be touched by life. There was no chaos here. The fire moved with rhythm, the smoke curled with grace, and even the thunder of the earth felt like music. The world was remaking itself quietly, folding and stretching, shaping valleys and islands and mountains. From every eruption came new beginnings, fresh stone, fertile soil, places where rivers would someday flow. The earth was not at war with itself. It was creating, resting, and breathing all at once. You can picture it now, the glow of the lava against the night, the softest of steam where it meets the rain. The air is thick with warmth. Drops of water fall from the clouds and turn instantly into mist. The sound is soothing, the meeting of two elements, opposite yet gentle, balancing each other. Fire gives, water cools, and together they create something new. Small creatures move along the edges of the cooling rock, curious and cautious. They are not afraid. The warmth protects them, the light guides them. The world feels vast and open, a living canvas, painted with red light and moving smoke. Even the wind carries a sound of life being formed, a low hum that stretches into the distance, echoing off stone and mountain. As the lava cools, it hardens into black glass, smooth and glimmering under the moonlight. Over time, cracks appear, and from those cracks, green begins to grow, the first shoots of ferns, reaching toward the soft air. The fire has become soil, and the soil becomes life. The land remembers its birth, carrying the heat deep inside, a hidden fire that will burn quietly for millions of years. Volcanoes rest, but never sleep completely. Their hearts beat beneath the ground, patient and slow. Sometimes, centuries pass in silence. Then, without warning, the earth exhales again, a low tremor, a sigh of flame, a whisper of creation. The cycle continues, never ending, never cruel. Even destruction here is gentle, an act of transformation, of renewal. If you could stand there and listen, you would not hear chaos. You would hear breathing, the deep, slow sound of the planet alive and dreaming. You would feel it through your feet, through the air, through your own heartbeat. It is the same rhythm, the same pulse, that has always moved through everything that lives. The night grows darker. The glow from a volcano fades, leaving behind soft plumes of smoke that rise into the starlit sky. The land still shimmers faintly with heat. Ash drifts like snow, settling quietly over the new earth. The world smells clean, new, and still. The air hums softly with energy, as if the planet itself is sighing in relief. Another breath taken, another dream completed. And somewhere, beneath layers of stone and time, the fire still sleeps, warm, waiting, patient. It will rise again one day, not in anger, but in renewal. The earth has always known how to heal itself, how to grow, how to keep creating. The trembling, the smoke, the fire, they are all part of its calm heartbeat. The land cools. The air settles. The stars above shine brighter now, their reflections caught in the smooth black rock below. The earth rests in its warmth, the quiet glow of its own creation still pulsing deep inside. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine the soft glow of a full moon hanging over the ancient earth. The night is calm, the air cool and heavy with the scent of rain and fern. The land is quiet now, the rivers have slowed, the winds have gentled, and even the great herds are still. The only sound is a faint whisper of leaves moving under a sky so clear it seems endless. And above it all, the moon shines, silver, patient, and eternal. It bathes the sleeping world in light. Its glow touches everything, the forests, the plains, the mountains, and the creatures resting beneath it. The dinosaurs lie in silence, their massive bodies still, their breath deep and slow. The moonlight spills across their scales, turning them into sculptures of silver and shadow. Every ridge, every curve gleams softly, as if the moon itself is tracing its fingers across their skin. The night does not fear them. It cradles them. Even the largest of them, the ones whose footsteps once made the earth tremble, now rest like gentle hills beneath the stars. The moonlight settles over them like a blanket, cool and kind. Around them, the air hums faintly with night sounds, the distant call of insects, the drip of water from the trees, the slow rhythm of the earth breathing. Far off, a river reflects the same light, shimmering as it bends and turns through the land. The reflection trembles slightly when the wind passes over it, but never breaks. It carries the moon's face in its ripples, stretching it, bending it, then restoring it again. The water remembers her light. It always has. The moon of the dinosaurs looks no different from the one we see tonight. The same pale glow, the same shadows, the same silent strength. It has watched over this planet since before time had a name, over every birth, every storm, every still night like this one. It saw the first spark of life in the oceans. It watched the forests rise, the volcanoes cool, and the great creatures grow and fade. Its gaze has never turned away. You can imagine how it must have looked from the eyes of a dinosaur lifting its head in the stillness, that bright circle in the sky, floating above a world of darkness and calm. Perhaps they, too, paused to look at it, their eyes glimmering faintly in its light. Perhaps they felt what we feel now, the pull of something vast and comforting, a reminder that even the endless night is full of gentle beauty. The air cools as the night deepens. Mist begins to rise from the ground, wrapping around the trees and low hills. The moonlight passes through it, scattering into soft halos of light. The whole world seems to glow, not in brightness, but in quiet radiance. Every surface catches a silver touch, the smooth leaves, the stones, the sleeping giants. Time itself seems to pause, resting under that glow. And above, the moon keeps shining, unchanged, unwavering, steady. It has no need for words, no need for warmth. Its light is enough. It reminds the earth of its stillness, its beauty, its endless cycle of sleep and awakening. That same moon is here now, looking down on us, just as it once did upon them. The light that touched their scales touches your face tonight. The same calm, the same peace, the same silent witness across millions of years. You breathe in, and the air feels old, familiar, full of memory. You exhale, and the world breathes with you. The moon remains above, keeping watch, soft, patient, eternal. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine the wide-open plains of the ancient earth under a velvet sky full of stars. The night is warm and still. The air smells of grass and river mist, carrying the quiet hum of crickets hidden in the ferns. The land stretches endlessly, touched only by silver light. Across that calm horizon, great herds of gentle creatures rest, the peaceful herbivores of a long-forgotten world. Their bodies lie close together in the tall grass, warm from the day's sun. The ground beneath them is soft, damp with dew. Some are still awake, moving their heavy heads in slow circles, brushing against one another as they breathe. Others are already asleep, their sides rising and falling in deep, steady rhythm. Their breath mixes with the night air, soft clouds drifting upward, fading into the starlight. The stars above shimmer like 1,000 quiet eyes. Their light touches everything. The smooth curve of a giant's back, the long arc of a neck stretched toward the sky, the faint shine on scales that glisten like polished stone. The herds are calm, unguarded. They have gathered together for safety, but there is no fear among them now. only closeness, only warmth. In the distance, a small stream winds lazily through the plain, its surface catching the reflection of the stars. Every ripple bends the light, making it dance gently across the grass. The faint sound of water blends with the soft rustle of tails brushing the ground, and the occasional low murmur that passes between the creatures, a quiet sound of belonging, like a lullaby spoken in a language too old to understand but easy to feel. The youngest ones sleep nearest the center of the herd, their small bodies curled beneath their parents' shadows. Every so often, one stays, nudging against its mother's side. A slow breath, a faint movement, and the world is peaceful again. The adults form a loose ring around them, half awake, their great eyes reflecting the starlight. They watch without worry. They know the night is gentle tonight. The air is alive with quiet motion, grass swaying in the breeze, insects glowing softly above the ground, the faint hiss of leaves against one another. It is the sound of a living world at rest, a perfect harmony of stillness and life. The herds breathe in unison, hundreds of lungs filling and emptying like the slow rhythm of the tide. The sound rolls across the plains like a sigh, soothing and endless. A light wind drifts down from the hills, carrying coolness and the scent of distant rain. It moves through the herd, brushing over their backs, rustling the grass, lifting bits of dust into the air. The creatures shift slightly, their tails flicking, their ears twitching to catch the sound. But the calm remains. The night holds them gently, cradling every sound, every motion, in silence. Above them, the constellations move. The moon glows faintly among the stars, lighting the plains with a soft white wash. Shadows stretch long and delicate. The earth feels timeless, wrapped in peace. Even the rivers seem to flow slower under the sky. Imagine standing among them, surrounded by slow breaths, by warmth, by the heartbeat of a world that knows no fear. You could reach out and touch the air, thick with life and serenity. The grass bends lightly beneath your fingers, cool with dew. The scent of earth and rain fills your lungs. Everything around you breathes in rhythm, not rushed, not loud, but steady and infinite. Time drifts softly here. The herds will sleep until the first light touches the horizon. Then they will rise, stretch, and begin another gentle day. But for now, the world belongs to stillness. The stars shimmer, the wind hums, and the creatures of the earth rest together, not alone, but as one. Their peace is not fragile. It is ancient, woven into the bones of the planet itself. The same peace flows through rivers, through clouds, through the air you breathe. It reminds you that calm has always existed, before noise, before chaos, before us. The herds remain still, the stars keep shining, and the world continues to dream. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine a soft morning on the ancient earth, the sky pale gold, the air still cool from the night. Mist curls over the ferns and tree trunks, carrying the scent of wet leaves and new life. In this quiet light, something delicate begins to stir. Small creatures move through the branches, their bodies covered not in scales alone, but in something new, soft, fine threads that shimmer faintly in the sun. Feathers. At first, they were not made for flight. They grew to keep warmth close, to trap air against the skin. They were tiny blankets against the cool breath of dawn, small gifts from nature's endless patience. Each feather was a whisper of change, a sign that the earth was dreaming of something lighter, something that could one day touch the sky. You can see them in your mind. The first creatures with soft down along their backs and arms, climbing through the trees with quiet grace. When they shake themselves, the feathers ripple, catching the light. Some fall away and drift slowly to the ground, turning in circles as they fall, weightless, peaceful, like flakes of golden dust. The forest floor collects them, layering them over moss and stone, small symbols of a new age being born. The air is gentle here. Warm wind moves through the leaves, carrying faint sounds, distant calls, the rustle of branches, the hum of insects waking to the light. The creatures with feathers stretch their limbs, feeling how the air slides between the thin threads. They do not yet know what wings are, but they are learning to feel the wind, to listen to its pull. Over time, the feathers grow longer. The arms grow stronger. What once covered them for warmth now begins to catch the air in small, careful motions. A jump from a rock becomes a glide. A fall becomes a drift. The air holds them for a moment longer each time, and soon the creatures begin to leap higher, from branch to branch, from tree to tree, their feathers opening like hands, like dreams. The first flight does not come with noise or glory. It comes quietly, like a sigh. A small creature runs along a fallen log, spreads its arms, and lets the air carry it for the briefest heartbeat. The ground moves away, the wind lifts, and the world opens. For the first time, something living touches the sky. It is not far, not high, but it is enough. The earth has learned to fly. The forest watches. The leaves tremble in the wind, scattering sunlight through the air. Feathers catch that light and shimmer, gold, white, soft brown. Some creatures still crawl, others climb, but a few now glide with ease, their movements smooth and calm. Their feathers rustle like whispers, like soft laughter in the breeze. The sky begins to fill with motion. Gliding turns to flapping. Flapping becomes soaring. Wings stretch wider. Feathers grow finer. The air bends around them like water. The world feels lighter. The earth, once heavy with giants, now shares its sky with dances of the wind. The dawn is full of life. Shadows crossing the sun. Calls echoing through the valleys. The rhythm of wings brushing air. Imagine standing below them, looking up as they move, not fast, not loud, but graceful. Their flight is a kind of peace, a slow dance that belongs to no one but the wind itself. You can almost hear it, the low hum of air against feather, the soft beat that keeps them aloft. As night returns, some of them settle back into the trees. Their feathers fold close around their bodies, holding warmth through the cool darkness. The moonlight touches their shapes, silver against the leaves. They rest quietly, the first birds of the world, dreaming perhaps of flight even as they sleep. The same wind that carried them still moves today. The same sky still waits above us. Every bird we see, every feather that catches the light, carries a memory of that first quiet leap, the moment Earth's creatures learned that air could hold them, that the sky was home too. The world breathes softly now. The forests sigh. The wings rest. The air is still, full of peace and memory. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine sinking slowly beneath the surface of an ancient sea. The world above fades into rippling light, soft and golden, until only calm water surrounds you. Everything moves slowly here. The surface glimmers far above, like a ceiling of shifting glass, but down below, in the quiet depths, time has no meaning. Only movement, only breath, only peace. The water feels cool, smooth, and endless. Each current slides past like silk, carrying with it the scent of salt and life. There are no voices here, no sound but the slow rhythm of bubbles rising toward the light. The deeper you drift, the softer everything becomes, the colors, the motion, even thought itself. It is a world of stillness, yet full of quiet energy, a heartbeat you can almost feel through the water. At the bottom, the sand is pale and fine. It ripples gently with every passing current, forming patterns that shift and fade like dreams. Tiny shells rest upon it, spirals, fans, delicate curves, each one shaped perfectly by time. Some are empty, some hold life, but all lie in peace, half buried in the soft floor of the sea. The water moves through them, whispering against their surfaces, a silent conversation that'll continue for millions of years. Nearby, corals rise like underwater gardens. They grow slowly, patiently, one grain of life building upon another. Their colors are soft, rose, ivory, faint blue, glowing faintly in the filtered light. Small fish move between them, flickering like sparks, their bodies reflecting the world around them. The coral hums with life, not in sound but in motion, tiny creatures crawling, feeding, growing, unseen but always alive. The sea here feels eternal. Light falls in long columns, reaching down from the sun above. Each beam wavers as it passes through the water, turning everything golden, then green, then deep blue. The light doesn't stay still. It dances gently across the sand, the shells, the scales of fish drifting by. Every flicker is soft, like the world breathing in slow rhythm. A turtle glides by, its flippers moving with effortless grace. Its shell carries the marks of age, smooth grooves carved by time and current. It passes through the light without hurry, leaving behind only a faint swirl in the sand. Small fish follow in its wake, darting close, then vanishing into the coral. No one rushes here. Even the ocean's smallest creatures move with patience, as they know that there is no need to chase anything in a world this vast. The deeper you go, the quieter it becomes. Sound fades until there's only the steady pulse of your own heartbeat, echoing faintly in your ears. The pressure of the water feels like an embrace, gentle, steady, infinite. It holds everything. The drifting shells, the slow-moving creatures, the unseen currents that weave through it all. Silence rules this world, but it is not empty. It is full of life so small, so patient, so constant that it doesn't need to speak. Occasionally, a shadow passes, a large fish moving through the dim light, its body shimmering like liquid silver. It glides past, stirring only the faintest ripple. The movement feels sacred, like a secret gesture between the sea and its children. Everything returns to stillness almost at once. The sand settles again. The light returns to its dance. The silence deepens. In some corners of the sea, hot vents rise from the ocean floor, places where the earth's fire meets the cold water. Even here, life grows. Tiny creatures cling to the rocks, their colors glowing faintly in the dark. The heat swirls upward in ribbons, creating clouds of light and shadow. The world below is full of surprises. Calm, but never empty. Quiet, but always alive. You can almost feel the weight of it now. The peace of the deep, the stillness that exists far beyond sound. The water presses softly against you, like the earth's own heartbeat. Every ripple, every drifting particle of sand, every breath of current moves with purpose. Nothing hurries. Nothing breaks the rhythm. The sea remembers everything. The shells buried in the sand were once homes. The coral once held tiny lives that grew and vanished. The fish swim paths their ancestors swam millions of years ago. Even now, the same water that once touched those ancient creatures still flows through the oceans of today. The sea forgets nothing, but it never clings. It simply carries life forward, softly, endlessly. As you rise again, light filters stronger through the water. The surface shimmers above you, calling gently. You break through into the cool air, and the sound of the wave returns, soft, rhythmic, eternal. Behind you, the deep world remains, quiet and still, waiting for nothing, needing nothing. The ocean breathes in, and the earth breathes with it. Every wave is a heartbeat, every ripple a whisper. The silence below continues, full of memory, full of life. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine looking up at the sky. Not the sky you know, but one that has changed and changed again, slowly, beautifully, across millions of years. The air above the ancient earth has always been alive. It breathes, it moves, it remembers. The clouds that drift across it today are distant relatives of the ones that floated over the dinosaurs, shaped by the same wind, made from the same sky. In the beginning, the air was thick and warm, filled with mist that clung to the ground. The sun glowed dimly through it, turning the world golden and soft. Rain fell gently, almost every day, feeding the young forest and carving paths for rivers to follow. The clouds were heavy and low, curling around the mountains like fog wrapping a dream. The air smelled of wet stone and growing things, the scent of a planet still learning how to breathe. As time passed, the sky began to lift. The mist rose higher, becoming lighter, turning to drifting clouds that moved lazily in the wide blue. The sunlight grew clearer. The wind grew stronger. It began to carry seeds and scents and whispers of faraway places. Every breath of wind that moved across the land shaped the future, smoothing dunes, carrying rain, teaching the earth how to change. The clouds learned to dance. They formed soft lines across the horizon, stretching into endless layers of white. Some were thin and high, brushing the top of the world like strokes of light. Others gathered thick and low, their bellies dark with water. They would drift together, touch, merge, and then gently let go. Sometimes their tears fell as rain, quiet and kind, washing the dust from leaves and cooling the air. Sometimes they broke apart, leaving the sky wide and empty, shining blue like the surface of a calm sea. The wind has never stopped moving. It carries the stories of every age, the warmth of ancient summers, the chill of forgotten winters, the breath of forests long gone. You can almost feel it now, brushing across your face, soft and cool. It's the same wind that once moved through the feathers of the first birds, the same that rippled the surface of prehistoric lakes, the same that whispered through the ferns of primeval forests. Time may have changed the world below, but the air above has always been faithful. Sometimes the weather would turn wild. Great storms would rise from the seas, their clouds towering high into the heavens. Lightning would flicker through the dark, bright and brief, painting the world with light before silence returned. The rain would fall in heavy sheets, drumming on the leaves, filling rivers, feeding life. Then the storm would fade, the sky clearing once more, the world glowing again beneath the soft return of the sun. Even in its power, the weather was patient, never cruel, only part of the earth's slow rhythm. Over the ages, the sky changed colors, too. In some eras, it glowed a deep, endless blue. In others, dust from volcanoes turned it hazy and gold. Sometimes it shimmered pink and lavender at dusk, just as it does now. Through it all, the sun kept rising, the moon kept following, and the clouds kept drifting, silent travelers of time. The creatures below lived by this sky, just as we do now. They looked upward, perhaps without knowing why, watching the slow roll of clouds and the calm arc of the sun. Even the largest dinosaurs paused sometimes, their eyes turning toward the heavens, sensing the great quiet above them. The same calm that fills you when you watch the sky fill them too, a feeling of peace too vast name. As night falls, the last light of day glows against the clouds. They turn soft shades of silver and gray, fading slowly into the dark. The air cools. The wind settles. The sky becomes still again, waiting for morning. Above us, the same air moves, ancient, gentle, wise. It has held every breath, every storm, every dawn. It has watched the world sleep and wake for billions of years. The clouds you see now are born from the same rhythm, always moving, always changing, yet forever calm. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine looking down upon the earth as it once was, not a collection of continents and seas, but a single, endless mass of land. One great body, green and gold, breathing quietly under warmth of an ancient sun. Rivers wove through its center, mountains rose and fell, forests stretched from horizon to horizon. The earth was whole then, but even wholeness must one day learn to move. Deep beneath the surface, the planet stirred softly. Heat pulsed through its heart, not in anger, but in rhythm, like the slow beat of a drum beneath stone. The ground shifted, almost imperceptibly, rising here, dipping there. Cracks formed, not with violence, but with patience. The earth was stretching, finding new space for its dreams. The continents did not break apart suddenly. They drifted, calmly, as if carried by invisible tides. Imagine it, the land moving so slowly that no creature would ever notice. Mountains slid away from one another over millions of years. Valleys widened, oceans were born, and coastlines curved into new shapes. The great single landmass began to drift apart, each piece gliding upon the molten sea beneath, floating like quiet islands through time. The earth changed its face, but never its spirit. Where once there had been one vast forest, now there were many, separated by seas, yet still connected by the same wind. The air carried pollen and rain from one shore to another, binding the new lands together in unseen ways. Birds flew across, following invisible paths that crossed oceans. Seeds floated on waves, finding new homes on foreign ground. Life adapted, but the rhythm stayed the same, calm, slow, endless. Far below, the planet continued its gentle work. The molten rock beneath the crust flowed like honey, pushing and pulling with steady force. The continents rode those waves, drifting inch by inch, like clouds across the surface of the world. If you could watch from above, the movement would seem like a dream, slow, graceful, without sound. The earth was not breaking apart. It was breathing, expanding, becoming itself. The separation brought new beauty. Where the land once met itself, new oceans opened, wide, shimmering expanses of blue that reflected the sky. Islands rose from the water, volcanoes building them grain by grain, until life found its way there too. The edges of the drifting continents formed cliffs and beaches, where waves whispered their slow music for the first time. The earth began to take the shape we know, familiar to us, but still moving, still alive beneath our feet. Sometimes the continents met again, pressing close as if remembering their old unity. Mountains rose from those embraces, tall and sharp, their peaks breaking through clouds. Then, slowly, they drifted apart once more. This endless dance, meeting, parting, meeting again, became the heartbeat of the planet. It continues even now, so slow that we cannot see it, but always there, always moving. The creatures who lived upon these shifting lands never felt the change beneath them. Forests grew where deserts once were. Rivers found new paths to see. Dinosaurs roamed across the edges of newly forming continents, unaware that the world beneath their feet was changing shape with every generation. Life simply continued, calm, patient, eternal. If you listen closely, you can almost hear it, a deep, low hum that seems to come from the center of the earth. It is a sound of motion without rush, of power without violence. The continents drift like thoughts across the mind of the planet, rearranging themselves in quiet grace. Even today, they are still moving. The earth has never stopped shifting, never stopped dreaming. Mountains still rise, oceans still widen, land still wander toward new horizons. The world beneath us is not fixed. It flows, it breathes, it evolves, softly and endlessly. So as you rest tonight, remember that even stillness can hold movement. The ground beneath you, the continents themselves, are part of a slow, patient dance that began long before any of us were here, and will continue long after. The earth is not restless. It is simply alive, calm, steady, eternal. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine a soft night long ago, warm air resting gently over the ancient forest, the moon hanging pale above the trees. The world is quiet, but not empty. Beneath the ferns and branches, a secret life stays, small creatures waking under starlight, their movements light as whispers, their hearts beating softly in the rhythm of the earth. Tiny dinosaurs move through the grass, careful and curious. Their feet make almost no sound on the damp ground. The air glows faintly around them, lit by the soft shimmer of fireflies drifting between the leaves. Each flicker feels like a heartbeat of light, appearing, fading, appearing again, a quiet language shared between the living and the dark. The small creatures lift their heads, their bright eyes catching the moonlight. They blink slowly, watching the fireflies dance. The light reflects in their eyes like tiny stars, as if the sky has come down to live among them. Their breath rises in short, misty clouds. Around them, the forest hums in a low, sleepy song. Crickets, frogs, the faint sigh of wind through fern and vine. Everything here is small, but full of meaning. The world feels vast to these gentle beings, yet it holds them tenderly. They move in small groups, touching noses, rustling leaves, searching for fallen fruit or insects to eat. Their tails flick softly behind them, brushing against glowing mushrooms that light up the forest floor with a quiet blue glow. The air is cool and alive. You can almost feel the peace of it, the night breathing with them, calm and endless. The smallest movements become music, the rustle of wings, the patter of feet, the hum of insects pulsing like a heartbeat through the trees. The forest does not sleep. It dreams, full of flickering lights and hidden motion, every life a tiny spark in the dark. One of the small dinosaurs pauses near a pool of water. Its reflection shimmers beneath it, broken by the gentle ripple of its breath. Fireflies hover above the surface, their lights doubling in the reflection, stars above and stars below. The creature leans close, curious, and the world seems to hold its breath for a moment. Then it moves on, leaving circles expanding gently across the water, fading like memories. The glowing insects rise higher now, floating through the branches. Their light paints the undersides of the leaves, turning them into lanterns. The air feels warm and soft, the smell of moss and soil filling every breath. From far away, the faint cry of a night bird echoes, long and lonely, but not sad. It is part of the balance, part of the stillness. The small creatures settle together near the roots of an ancient tree. Their bodies touch lightly, their breathing synchronizes, and soon they are still. Around them, the insect continue to glow, drifting like living embers. The forest hums quietly, wrapping them in a blanket of sound, low, steady, soothing. The night deepens. The moonlight softens. Every light, the eyes, the wings, the stars, flickers in slow rhythm, as if the whole world shares one calm pulse. Life continues, small and perfect, beneath the endless sky. The light of these small creatures is gentle, but it never fades. It glows quietly through time, through the forest that came and went, through the dark that always returns. It is a reminder that peace lies not only in great things, but in the smallest, a flicker of light, a breath, a heartbeat. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine a world standing quietly at the edge of its last golden days. The sun hangs low over wide plains and forests that stretch forever, painting everything in warm shades of gold and green. Rivers gleam in the distance, slow and winding. The air hums with a gentle rhythm of life, the same as it has for millions of years. The great creatures still walk the earth, calm and unhurried, unaware that their time is softly fading. The herds move through the tall grass, their footsteps deep but slow, steady as a heartbeat. Long-necked sauropods reach toward the treetops, pulling leaves with quiet grace. Smaller dinosaurs wander at their feet, darting in and out of the shadows. The air is thick with warmth, with the sound of wings and rustling branches, with the sigh of the wind moving over the land. Nothing in this moment speaks of endings. The world still feels eternal. The sky above is vast, brushed with thin, white clouds drifting like soft thoughts. Terraces glide across the horizon, their wings catching the sunlight, flashing gold before fading into the distance. The sea glimmers beyond the hills, calm and silver, the waves breathing against the shore in slow, endless rhythm. The earth feels balanced, full, living, whole. In the forests, smaller creatures feed among the ferns. The air is sweet with the scent of resin and rain. Tiny birds with bright feathers leap between branches, singing notes that vanish into stillness. Lizards sleep on warm rocks. Flowers bloom quietly at the roots of giant trees. Everything continues as it always has, each movement part of the slow pulse of the planet. The great carnivores move, too, not as hunters in chaos, but as silent guardians of their realm. A tyrannosaurus steps through the shade of the trees, its breath slow, its gaze calm. Its tail sways behind it with a rhythm as old as the earth itself. The ground trembles faintly beneath its feet, but there is no fear in the sound. Only presence, only strength. The creature lowers its head to drink from a river, and the ripples spread in soft circles, catching the colors of the sky. Overhead, clouds gather, not storm clouds, but soft shapes that drift lazily. The air grows cooler as evening approaches. The light turns softer, the colors deeper. The great herds begin to rest, folding their bodies to the earth. Parents nudge their young close. Small dinosaurs curl into hollows in the grass. The day slips quietly toward night, and the first stars appear. No one knows that change is coming. The earth feels steady, calm, eternal. The creatures breathe the same air, drink the same water, and walk the same paths they always have. The mountains still stand. The oceans still sing, and the moon will rise tonight just as it always has, silver and soft, lighting their resting forms. In the stillness, you can almost hear the planet sigh, a sound deep and low, as if it, too, knows that something is shifting, but not yet ready to tell. The air carries a faint coolness, a whisper of distant ash. Far across the horizon, a streak of light falls through the sky, unseen by most, disappearing beyond the clouds. But hey, in this quiet valley, life goes on untouched. The wind moves gently through the trees. Fireflies rise. The herds breathe in peace. The last age of giants is not filled with fear or struggle. It ends as it lived, slowly, softly, under the same stars that shine on us now. The world does not rush to its ending. It folds into it, gently, like the closing of a long and beautiful dream. And when the night deepens, the land falls completely silent. The earth holds its breath, suspended between what was and what will be. The creatures sleep, their hearts beating in rhythm with a timeless world. For now, they are safe. For now, they are still. The wind slows. The stars shimmer. The world rests beneath their light. The last giants sleep, unaware that the dawn will bring a different sky. But tonight, they dream, peaceful, endless, calm. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine the world as it was in its final, perfect stillness. The air is soft, the forests hum with life, and the oceans glimmer beneath a pale moon. The herds rest across the plains, their bodies rising and falling in slow rhythm. The night sky stretches wide and infinite, filled with stars so quiet they seem to breathe. Everything feels eternal, unchanging, endless, until, far beyond the horizon, something new begins to appear. At first, it is only a faint light, a glimmer, small and distant, moving where no star should move. It does not roar, it does not blaze, not yet. It simply drifts, slow and silent, through the black ocean of the sky. But it grows brighter with every passing moment, as though the heavens themselves have decided to open their eyes. The comet travels softly through space, its tail a river of light trailing behind it, silver, gold, blue. It has no intention, no anger. It is not a weapon, but a messenger of change. For millions of years, it has moved through darkness, unseen, untouched, until at last it finds its way home, toward the blue planet below, where life has bloomed and grown and dreamed for ages. From the ground, the dinosaurs look up. Some raise their heads at the strange new brightness in the sky. It glows brighter than the moon, casting pale shadows across the plains. The forests shimmer under its light. The rivers catch its reflection, trembling with it. Still, the world remains calm. The night air is filled not with fear, but with wonder. The creatures do not know what it is, only that something beautiful is unfolding above them. As the comet draws closer, the sky begins to change color. Hues of pink and orange bloom across the horizon, even though it is still night. Clouds light up from within, glowing softly like lanterns. The air grows warm, not harshly, but gently, as if the planet itself is taking a deep breath. The stars fade one by one, outshone by the growing light. It feels almost like dawn, though no sun is rising. And then, in a single heartbeat, the world becomes brighter than it has ever been. The comet touches the edge of the sky. The light spreads across the heavens, washing the land in gold. For one long, still moment, the earth glows, forests, oceans, mountains, all bathed in brilliance. The creatures freeze where they stand, their eyes wide and shining. Even the wind seems to stop. Then, slowly, softly, everything begins to change. The air trembles, carrying a sound that is not thunder but something deeper, the voice of the planet itself. The ground quivers, rivers ripple, trees sway. Dust rises in waves. It is not chaos, it is motion, creation, transformation. The earth is turning inside itself, shedding an old skin to make room for what will come next. The light begins to fade, but its memory lingers in the air, a golden haze that drifts for hours, painting everything in warmth. The forests whisper. The oceans rise and fall, their surfaces shimmering with color. In the distance, the horizon glows faintly red, then dims again. The sound softens, the trembling slows. Silence returns, vast and heavy, yet somehow full. The world lies still. The sky is empty once more, save for a few dim stars returning, faint and far. The moon remains, watching quietly. The air is thick with dust and light, glowing softly in the afterglow. The land rests beneath it, quiet and unfamiliar, wrapped in silence that feels both like an ending and a beginning. And beneath that silence, the earth breathes. Slowly, deeply, calmly. The forests are gone, but their roots remain. The creatures are gone, but their bones rest gently in the soil. The air cools again, and the first drops of rain begin to fall, not heavy, not cold, but soft. They land on stone, on ash, on the surface of the quiet sea. The sound of the rain is delicate, like the ticking of a clock beginning anew. Each drop carries a memory of what was and the promise of what will be. The world sleeps for a long time after that. The sun rises again, but the light is dim at first, filtered through dust. Days pass in slow silence. Night shimmer faintly with color. The air clears. New seed begin to take root. The oceans calm. The earth turns quietly beneath the stars, healing in its own gentle rhythm. The comet did not come to destroy. It came to renew, to turn the page of time, to let the earth dream again. Its fire became the soil for new life. Its silence became the cradle for new songs. And far above, the trail of the comet fades into the distance, leaving only a faint shimmer that lingers for centuries, a silver scar across the heavens, a reminder of change, of beauty, of the calm power that guides all things. The world is still. The air is soft. The earth sleeps beneath its glowing sky, waiting for morning. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine the earth as it lies after the light fades, a planet wrapped in silence, resting beneath a veil of dust. The sky, once alive with color and sound, has turned gentle and gray. Ash drifts slowly through the air, floating down like snow that never melts. It touches the trees, the rivers, the stones, soft, weightless, endless. The world has grown still. The great noise has passed. Now the earth sleeps. The forests whisper their last goodbyes in the faint wind that moves through the hollow trunks. The leaves that once shimmered in sunlight now lie curled upon the ground, turning to dust beneath the falling ash. The air is heavy, but calm, not filled with sorrow, only quiet acceptance. The world is resting, breathing in long, slow rhythms, as if healing from a long dream. Across the plains, the shapes of mountains fade in the haze. Rivers move slower now, their waters thick with silt and memory. They carry with them the stories of what once lived, the touch of creatures long gone, the scent of forest that will not rise again for many ages. The sound of the current is low and steady, like a lullaby sung to the earth itself. The sky glows faintly, a soft silver behind the ash clouds. The sun tries to reach through, but its light is muted, distant, like a candle behind a curtain. Days blend into nights. The difference between them grows smaller until time itself feels drowsy, half awake, half dreaming. The earth no longer rushes forward. It simply rests, wrapped in its own stillness. In the quiet, the planet remembers. Deep beneath the surface, warmth still glows, the slow, steady fire that has never gone out. It hums softly within the earth's heart, patient and alive. It does not rise or break. It simply waits, holding space for life to return when the time is right. Above, the ashes continue to fall, layer upon layer, tucking the world in like a blanket. Everywhere, there is peace. The forests are gone, but their roots remain deep in the soil, like fingers clutching memory. The oceans are dim, their waves slow and tired, but still they move. Clouds drift low, quiet and gray, releasing a soft rain that hisses when it meets the warm ground. The sound is small, yet comforting, the rhythm of life that refuses to stop even in rest. If you stood here now, you would hear almost nothing. Only the wind, only the whisper of ash as it lands on stone. The earth's great voice has fallen silent, but not forever. In that silence, something gentle stays, not movement, not grave, just a faint pulse of possibility. The soil still breathes. The air still hums. The world has not ended. It is only sleeping. The years pass slowly, marked not by change but by softness. The ash grows thick, forming new ground. The air clears little by little, light returning in thin beams through the clouds. The rain falls more often now, washing the dust into the rivers, feeding the deep places beneath the earth where seeds still wait. The world dreams of green again. Even as it sleeps, the planet is alive. Its heartbeat is faint but steady. The warmth beneath the crust hums like a song beneath layers of silence. And somewhere, hidden in the dust, tiny things begin to stir, small, unseen, fragile. The beginning of something new. The earth exhales softly. The wind picks up the ashes and carries them away, scattering them across seas and mountains. What was once an ending now becomes the soil of another beginning. The long sleep of the earth is not death. It is rest, deep, needed, full of promise. The sky darkens completely now. The stars return, one by one, watching over the resting planet. The air is cool, the ground still warm beneath the surface. Everything is quiet. Everything breathes. The world sleeps in peace, silent, whole, and dreaming of life once more. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine the quiet earth after its long sleep, oceans calm, mountains still, air clear and soft again. Beneath the ground, deep below roots and rivers, the memories of an older world lie waiting. The bones of creatures that once walked the earth rest gently in the dark, their shapes pressed into stone by the slow weight of time. The planet, in its patience, has kept their stories safe, not as sorrow, but as remembrance. At first, the bones lay in open air. Rain fell on them, wind brushed across them, and the dust of ages began to gather. Then, slowly, the earth covered them. Layer after layer of sand, silt, and ash settled over their resting places. Every storm, every flood, every breath of wind added another veil. The bones sank deeper into silence, untouched, unmoving. And with each passing century, the earth grew heavier around them, pressing their shapes into memory. The bones began to change. The minerals of the soil seeped in, filling every hollow space. The delicate tissue turned to crystal, the bone to stone. Piece by piece, they transformed, no longer flesh, no longer fragile, but part of the earth itself. Fossils were born not through destruction, but through care, the planet's gentle way of remembering what it once carried upon its surface. Imagine the stillness of it. For millions of years, the world moved above, oceans shifting, forests blooming and fading, new lives appearing and vanishing, while below, in the deep quiet, the bones remained. The rock held them tightly, layer upon layer, as if wrapping them in time. In the darkness, they waited. They did not know what they were waiting for, only that someday light would find them again. Each fossil holds a moment, a footprint pressed into mud that hardened into stone, the curve of a rib turned to marble, a leaf etched like lace into shale. They are not just remains, they are messages. Every mark, every pattern, every preserved shape whispers of a time when the earth was young and full of life. The rocks became pages, and time became the ink. Rain fell above, snow melted, rivers carved valleys. Wind eroded the mountains grain by grain. Slowly, the deep layer began to rise again. What had once been buried now began to surface, lifted by the same earth that had once covered it. And one day, after millions of years of quiet waiting, a piece of stone cracked open, and the world's memory was revealed. Imagine the first human who found such a thing. Perhaps they walked through a canyon or along the edge of a river after rain and saw something strange, a pattern in the rock that looked almost alive. They brushed away the dirt and found the imprint of a bone, a shell, a leaf, the touch of something from a world long gone. In that moment, the past and the present met. The earth spoke softly, through stone, saying, "I remember." The fossils told their stories without words, of giant herds walking across plains, of forests that once grew where deserts now stand, of creatures that swam in seas long vanished. Each fossil was a fragment of time, carried through the ages, patient and unbroken. Even now, the stones hold those memories. In deserts, cliffs, and mountainsides, the past sleeps inside the rock, waiting for hands to lift it into light again. When you hold a fossil, you hold more than stone. You hold the echo of breath, the shape of movement, the trace of life that once shared the same sun and air we know today. The earth is never forgotten. It remembers through texture, through pattern, through the quiet permanence of stone. Every fossil is a love letter written in silence, proof that nothing truly disappears, that even in endings there is memory, and in memory a kind of eternity. And so, the bones that once belonged to giants and dreamers remain. The planet keeps them in its heart, a story told not in words but in weight and stillness. The rocks are its library, and every fossil a page from the long dream of life. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let your thoughts drift away, imagine the night sky stretching above you, wide, endless, ancient. The same stars that once watched over forests of ferns and herds of giants now shimmer quietly above your world. They blink softly, like eyes that have seen everything and still remember it all. Their light travels through time, through dust and distance, to reach you here. It carries memories older than thought, older than the moon itself, the memories of a world that never truly vanished. If you listen closely, you can almost hear it, faint, like when moving across a forgotten plain. The slow, deep rhythm of footsteps. The whisper of leaves brushed aside by enormous bodies. The low, distant call of a creature that once stood taller than the trees. Somewhere, between the stars and the silence, the dinosaurs still walk. They do not walk upon the earth anymore, but through time itself, their shapes glowing faintly in the constellations, their shadows drifting across the Milky Way. Each star holds a fragment of their breath. Each beam of light carries a trace of their warmth. The night sky has become their new home, their new land, an endless plain where they move without fear or hunger, forever calm, forever whole. In this dream, the great long-necked sauropods rise from the glittering dust of galaxies. Their silhouettes drift across the horizon of the cosmos, their tails trailing behind them like streams of starlight. Terraces glide between the planets, wings stretch wide across the dark, their feathers glimmering silver as they pass. The small ones, the quick, the curious, chase comets, their laughter a soft shimmer in the cold air of eternity. Even the mighty Tyrannosaurus moves there, not in violence but in grace, its body made of constellations, its eyes glowing gentle gold. They walk slowly through the stars, the way they once walked across the plains, unhurried, peaceful, unafraid. Their movements leave ripples in the darkness, like the faint rings left by rain upon still water. Those ripples drift through time and reach us even now, echoing in our dreams, our imaginations, our stories. Every fossil, every painting, every whisper about the world before us, all of it is an echo returning to us through the long passage of years. The stars remember what the earth remembers. They hold it between them, the forests that breathed, the oceans that shimmered, the nights filled with the sound of wings. Even the comets that cross the sky carry traces of that ancient light. When one passes, burning bright against the black, it is as if the universe is waving, a reminder that those who came before are never gone, only transformed. The earth itself still dreams of them. Deep below your feet, beneath layers of stone and silence, their bones rest, not in death, but in patience. They are part of the soil now, part of the mountains, part of the slow heartbeat of the planet. Every time rain falls upon the ground, it touches their memory. Every tree that grows from the earth carries their story in its roots. The wind that moves across the hills has passed through their ancient forests. The same air you breathe once filled their lungs. In a way, they never left. They are in the dust that glows at sunset, in the patterns of the stars above, in the quiet hum of life that still fills this planet. They exist in the rhythm of the waves, the curve of the clouds, the stillness before dawn. The world you live in is built upon their dreams, layer upon layer of life, continuing, evolving, remembering. Sometimes, when you look up the sky and see the stars spread across it like scattered jewels, imagine them there, walking gently, glowing faintly, their footsteps forming the constellations. Imagine them pausing to look down, their eyes bright with kindness, watching the small world they once knew. They would see rivers still flowing, forests still breathing, and new creatures, small and fragile, carrying their memory forward. And maybe, if you listen in the quiet of night, you can still feel them, not with your ears, but with your heart. The deep, slow rhythm beneath all things. The steady pulse of life that never ends, only changes shape. It is the same rhythm that beat through their vast hearts, that now beats through yours. The same cycle of rising and resting, of breathing and becoming. The dinosaurs are not lost. They live on in the language of stone and sky, in the patterns of wings and the hush of waves. They walk still, not through forests of fern, but through galaxies of light. Their world ended, but their story did not. It became the world we know, the life we live, the dreams we dream. Above you, the stars continue to burn, quiet and eternal. Their light falls softly through your window, touching your face, the way moonlight once touched the backs of giants sleeping beneath it. The universe hums around you, full of memory, full of peace. You are part of it, made of the same dust, held by the same silence, watched by the same stars. So rest now. Let the world around you fade into calm. Feel the earth beneath you, the sky above you, the deep, slow breath that moves through everything. The same breath that moved through the giants, through the forests, through the sea. Nothing truly disappears. It only dreams. And tonight, the earth dreams again, of forests and stars, of wings and waves, of gentle creatures walking through silver light. The dream lives on, and so do they. Now, let yourself drift deeper into rest and sleep.